Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. It's the info man in the lion's den. 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 It's the info man, yup, it's the lion's den. Yup, you can't fuck with us, nope, so stop trying then. Still, it's the info man, yup, it's the lion's den. Yup, you can't fuck with us, nope, so stop trying then. Still heavyweight, so they try to hate, knock my mill up off my plate, but we do not take the bait. Don't hesitate when it's time to do it to it. We still do they bullshit like how it's steering fluid. Wait a minute, lion's den. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, lion's den. Wait a minute. It's the info man in the lion's den. 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 Raise your ass up, rise your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion or info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion or info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion or info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion or info team.
All right, everybody. Information man, if you can hear me speak, put a 1 in the chat room. If you can hear me speak. We got my man Lion's Den here with me. Can y'all all hear me? Press 1 if you can hear. I'm glad to see everybody here coming in chat room. We're gonna go podcast live tonight. Brother Elder is on the phone. I made a beautiful thumbnail, as you can see up there on the screen of the Brother Elder. Good, you can all hear me. And Brother Elder is going to come in loud and clear in just a moment. I got him on the phone, so you'll be hearing him speak. I got Lion's Den, who I'm going to have announce everybody in the chat room, give a little bit of love in the chat room, because peace, blessing, and love is here. Peace, blessings, and love. That's right.
Peace, blessings, and love, family. This is Rahson Shakur, out of the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana, coming to you with another great and informative video. Peace, blessings, and love to all the melanated family and mankind.
He's here, folks. He's coming on very soon. The Elder, Baba. Okay, Brother Elder, I got you all connected to the phone system, so we should be able to hear you. How you doing, brother?
Oh, the Elder's doing great. Doing great.
Okay, I'm going to bring up the speaker so that we can hear you loud and clear. There might be a little bit of an echo effect between me and you, but it's okay. Lion's Den, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. How are you doing?
Doing fine. This is what I got to do. I know what I got to do. There we go. Okay. Lion's Den, speak up again.
How's everything, info?
Okay, good. We can hear you a little bit better. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect this over here. Let me see. That's going to be connected there. Can you let us know who's all in the chat room right now?
Okay, we got Joanna D. King, Bon, Lodge Covington, Raymond Tackler Forever, Mark C., Beautiful Forever, Vonda Harris, Cap, Sheila Furnace. We also got King Wade, Taria, Beautiful Forever, Diana H., Jasmine Virgo.
Okay, I know what's going on. There must be let me see what's going on here. Make sure I got everything. There shouldn't be
Forever, Vonda Harris, Cap, Sheila Furnace, We also got King Wade, Korea, beautiful forever. Diana,
Okay, let me see here. So, is it any? Are you hearing feedback, Lions Den?
Yeah, I did heard some echo before, but I think everything's good now.
Okay, we're good now. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody in the chat room, thank you for being here and supporting. I'm gonna unmute my phone so we can talk to the elder. So, brother elder, Baba, I'm glad that you're here tonight. I've been wanting to interview you and talk to you. I know you told me that you got about an hour of your time, and I appreciate you giving us of your time. But brother, say in your own words, the beautiful words that you always say, brother. Take it away to the people that's out there listening.
peace, blessings, and love to all my dedicated fans.
Woo, yeah. So look. Within the time that we have, brother, and this is being podcast on my radio podcasting system as well. So we're completely live on a lot of platforms tonight. But this is the first thing I don't know if you've been asked this before, but tell us a little bit about you, brother. I mean, what's your background? What has gotten you on YouTube? As fiery, as powerful as you are, you speak truth to power always. What is it that created an elder Rahson Accord? Okay, what created you? What is your genesis, brother? Break it down to us.
Well, I guess I just made to do this. You know, because every day we learn, and I just got into a lot of conscious information in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to Dr. Ben, Phil Valentine, a lot of conscious brothers, so A.A. Rahson, Ray Hagan, Bobby Hammett, you know, the sister Francis Wesley. I started listening to all those type of people and just start gaining information and start making videos.
Okay. So, but in your earlier days, brother, what were your influences? Were you influenced by Malcolm X? I mean, those folks that you named are classic folks. That's classic.
Oh yeah, I liked the Black Panthers, Fred Hampton, Eldridge Cleaver, Angela Davis, people like that. You know. I was influenced by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know, and during my later years, I got away from a lot of, I completely got away from Christianity.
Okay, now that's another question. I often hear you use the term "Sky Daddy Jesus." What happened that got you away from Christianity? Like a lot of black folks were raised as Christians, and as you know the history, brother, that Christianity in a lot of ways was forced on black people during the slave experience on the plantations, and they used the Bible when they did allow us to read, because as you know, they would harm you if you were caught reading. But when they decided to allow us to read, they used the Bible to indoctrinate our minds, to make us believe that white folks were God, and that it was God's intent for us to be slaves and to be marginalized. What are your thoughts on that? Is that sort of what brought you to the light, brother?
Yeah. And we was getting, as a young man, I was raised up in Baptist church, and something was wrong. Yeah, all these white images. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So as we grow, we can learn, So when I got into the conscious community, I started getting all kind of information, that lifted my spirit and brought a lot of truth, because before I got into the conscious community, I didn't know nothing about the Council of Nicaea. I didn't know nothing about a lot of this, the Roman Catholic Church, how evil it was. All this made up bullshit that that they indoctrinated in our minds.
So when did the light, I mean, you were influenced by Francis Cresswell Wilson, Bill Valentine, all these great scholars, but for you personally, they were that was the vehicle that launched you. But what was inside of you, deep inside, that caused you to say, you know what, I want to express myself and take it to YouTube? What caused you to get on YouTube and to create channels? And if I'm not mistaken, and we're going to talk about Brother Ben X today, who I did a video today expressing my concern about what happened to Brother Ben X. Let me do something real quick, because Brother Ben X, and he surprised me today. He came by my channel. Okay. And there he is on the screen right there, folks. He came by my channel today and he dropped his links, and I modded him up, and he let us know about his new channel, his backup channel. And as you are no stranger to this, they have tried to they have taken your channels away. They have done all sort of dastardly things to stop you from spreading the knowledge and the wisdom. But from your point of view, what brought you to YouTube? What was the light that turned on?
I don't know, man. Our first video I made in January 20th, 2016. And I didn't start making videos. You know, everything just came together. My first channel was Rahson _. I got up to about 19,000 subscribers, and they took that one down. But I didn't stop it. Then I got another channel, *To. That was the best channel that I had. And I was just laying down a lot of information, you know, and they took that one down. But one thing I got is determination. Long you bring the truth, you know, everything gonna be all right. They can't stop that.
Exactly.
Because the truth will prevail over a lie. And you just have that determination to keep doing what you gotta do to bring the truth. Because I don't believe, like I said in a lot of my videos, I don't believe in God, Dad, and Jesus and rubber legs on the Sunday mountain. You know, I believe in freedom and justice and equality for the melanated family all over planet Earth, which we are the organic family, the divine family, the first family.
Yes.
Everything comes from the black woman and the black man.
Yes. Yes. I agree with that. Let me ask you this question too, Elder, because you've lived some life. You've lived, a lot of us on YouTube. I'm a Generation Xer. You got the baby boomers like yourself. And you have the millennials today. A lot of us, we do a lot of talking about racism. On occasion, we talk about oppression. But there are some of us who have experienced it. I mean, firsthand, up close and personal. A brother of your age and experience, what were some of the things that you, Elder Baba, have experienced? Because you lived through most of what most of us just talk about, but you lived it. You are a walking resource of this reality. Tell us, if you don't mind, what are some of the things that you experienced dealing with this with these mayonnaise people? I like to use code words, my brother. These mayonnaise people.
Oh yeah, when I came up through the civil rights era as a kid, and I used to not kid, a young man. I used to see a lot of evil shit going down. You know, especially in New Orleans was one of the Louisiana. One of the most racist places in the world. During my time, you couldn't even, they had the colored bathrooms, the white man bathrooms, all this shit. Yeah. Now you can see how people get hosed down with hose pipes and shit. I remember when it was fights for integration for the schools in New Orleans. White folks out there whooping and howling, talking crazy, you know, bringing all their evilness. Yeah, I seen when I was about 10, 12 years old, I saw Emmett Till in the textbook where the same mistake.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, that was a terrible thing. He didn't see that, you know, at that young age. And I know something was wrong, you know, with why these people hate us, you know.
Brother, seeing that sort of stuff, seeing that reality, that has to have quite an impact on you. It had to have quite an impact on you as a young man. And, you know, Black people, we have suffered a hell of a lot in this country. Let me ask you this, because this is something that you hear a lot of younger folks like myself. I'm 49, but you know, I'm still hanging in there. But I'm a young man. A lot of us talk about, you hear a lot of us talking about how civil rights movement might have been the worst thing that happened to Black people in terms of us desegregating, coming out of segregation into integrating. And my question to you is, because you lived it, brother, do you believe that the movement in which Dr. King was orchestrating at that time, and I know that there were Black business owners, Black people. We got my man Maurice Muhammad in the chat room. That's my man. I'm glad he's here. I've got to give him a clap because he is the man. Real quick. That's Maurice Muhammad. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel like your life depends on it. Now, Elder, as I was saying, brother, a lot of us talk about that. What is your opinion on that? Do you believe that the movement at that time, the civil rights movement, made a grave mistake of forcing us into immigrating with white folks, going to school with white people, expecting that they're going to educate us when they are our enemy? What are your thoughts? Do you think it was a mistake? What are your thoughts?
Hell yeah, it was a mistake. Because when I was coming up, although they had a lot of evil shit was going down, Black people, I mean, coming up as a child, we ain't dealt with no white folks. We used to see a lot of bullshit on TV, but they had Black businesses. Where I stayed at, they had supermarkets, they had little corner stores. You could go anywhere and get your meal, because all the sisters were cooking, you know, and they had mechanic shops, Black mechanic shops, Black body and fender shops, record shops. So I didn't deal with no white folks coming up. I just used to see a lot of that bullshit on TV. But basically, Martin Luther King made a bad mistake, because I believe in the philosophy of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he said, let's separate and get our own shit. If we went on and did that philosophy, we'd have been in better shape right now. Been in better shape.
Let me ask you a question, brother. I appreciate your candor and your honesty. Now, what do you think it's going to take, in your opinion, your humble opinion, for Black people to get out of the condition that we are in? Because I believe that we are, in a lot of ways, deaf, dumb, and blind right now. We're blind to the knowledge of self. We're blind to what's happening around us. I know James Baldwin say, if you don't understand your history of the past, you won't understand what's happening around you today. And let me read what Brother Maurice Muhammad says. He says, I thank you, Brother Information Man. Okay, he's thanking everybody in the chat room. Everybody in the chat room, I thank you for being here. I'm going to, Lion's Den is, I have a young brother on like myself, Lion's Den, newly married. He's in Tennessee, I believe. And he may have a few questions for you, Brother Baba, Elder. I'm going to get that question I have on the table still is that what do you think is going to take for us to get out of the sleep and the nonsense that we're in? Just hold on to that for a minute because I want to give Brother Lyonsden a chance to ask you a few questions. I don't think he has spoken to you before. Brother Lyonsden, you've had a chance to hear what we're talking about. I'm gonna rest back for a minute, and if you have any questions you want to ask the elder, go right ahead, brother.
Yes. Brother Rahson, how are you, my brother?
Doing pretty good, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. One question. We already know that you're following. You've been following the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister. At that time, Malcolm X. Who do you follow now? Like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, do you follow him or do you follow other leaders?
Well, I follow anybody that want to unite and bring our people together and deprogram our people's minds. We want to get some land and economical power.
And sir, what can we do as a black community to come together and not being divided? What can we do as a community, sir, to bring people together?
We got to deprogram everything. Everything must go. The way the shit is now, we ain't gonna make it because our people are so programmed and conditioned. A lot of them are walking zombies. You got to get rid of rap music. You got to get rid of all this thugism. You got to get rid of all this feminism. You got to get rid of homosexuality. We just gotta change the whole picture. That's what, if we don't do it that way, divine intervention that's probably gonna have to take in.
So basically, Elder, go ahead, Lyonsden. You have another question for the brother?
Just one last question. Because I noticed there's some people in the black community, like you said, that there's some generation that's coming up. You know, like you said about hip hop and people, the rappers that they follow now. What can the generation now to do? Because I know there's people that's still lost, but they need to find someone that can, bring them together. What advice you can tell the younger generation now to find out who's telling the truth and who's not, sir?
Well, that's a hard question there. You got so many scammers. You got people telling lies. You got people claiming they're pro-black and they ain't. So that's going to confuse a young because they don't know if you're telling the truth. Because you got too many scammers, too many liars, too much hate, envy, jealousy. So, that's going to be a tough road.
See, Elder, this is my point of view on it, brother. I don't see myself as pro-black. I see myself as black first. See, because anybody can claim to be pro-black, but to be black first is a whole different ideology. Now, I've been looking around YouTube, and I don't like what I see when you've got people who are sort of what you would call scamming our people. Okay, I'm not going to name names, right? I'm not going to name names. I'm just going to say there's people scamming our people. Then we wonder why black people don't trust each other, why we don't want to go in business with each other. A lot of times on YouTube, a lot of us will say, hey, support each other and what have you, right? Let me give some love to Thompson. Thank you, Thompson, for the super chat. I appreciate that. I really do. Let me give you the proper notification. I want to thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that a lot. Definitely a lot.
Peace, blessings, and love.
Okay, everybody. Peace, blessing, and love. Back to the elder right now. So, Elder, there's a lot of scamming going on, and this is not good for us as a people moving forward when we often talk about how we got to support each other. We got to be behind each other and one another. And yet, when this sort of stuff happens, how are we supposed to trust each other as Black people, Elder? What are your thoughts?
Kind of hard. Because one thing about anything we do, you must have trust. If you can't trust nobody, so how you gonna go forward? How you gonna have any progress when you got people that's constantly scamming, and you know you got maybe 20 or 30 people want to do right, but you got 9,000 thinking the other way. It's gonna be hard to have any kind of progress. That's what's really holding us down. You know, because that's how people have learned the white man way. Scamming, lying, stealing. Our ancestors do that. You know, we are colonized. We got colonized. They took our language. They took our taboos. They took our diet. They took everything away from us and give us their bullshit. So generation after generation, you got a bunch of programmed and conditioned zombies.
Wow.
Because what you teach your children, that's what they're going to learn. And everything is orchestrated by the powers that be. You know, they created all this old evil-ass rap music. They brought people like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and all these old foolish-ass rap people psyching our children's minds out for foolishness and filth.
So wait a minute, brother, let me see. You're old enough to remember this. I was a kid in the early 80s. I used to break dance, strut. I was into rap music, but I remember a time when rap music was the poetry of the people, sort of like the Last Poets, where it was a music genre that empowered Black people, that gave us great strength. Matter of fact, Elder, I don't know if you realize this, and you probably do. Obviously, you've been living longer than I have, that there was a time when college attendance increased because a lot of the rappers at that time were going on college campuses, particularly HBCs, and they were doing their videos and rapping and putting out the message. You had the X-Clan, you had the Public Enemy.
Yeah, I remember all that.
Right? And so,
I remember all that.
Exactly. And so what happened is that, and then everybody was wearing the African medallions, and everybody was saying, you know, back to Africa, right? And as soon as that message was resonating with young Black people, what happened? The music got corrupted, and here comes gangster rap, here comes NAA, here comes all this other stuff that was going on here in the West Coast with this gangster type music that was getting us away from a music that was liberating and unifying us into a music that was telling us that our women were hoes and all this kind of stuff. And that, you know, we're garbage bags and all this kind of stuff. Now, all of a sudden, here comes the culture of everybody wearing their pants below their behind, like they got a BAIO movement, which I know because I work in the prison system. I deal with brothers in the prison that I'm trying to help. A lot of this baggy pants down below your behind comes out of the prison system in which you would offer yourself sexually to people. What's up, Gab Talk Media? I see you in there. So I said a mouthful, Elder. What are your thoughts?
And you're right. That's what happened. It changed the music, the powers that be. Because they saw us coming together with that type of music. Early hip-hop. And even the music before hip-hop, that beautiful R&B they had. You know, so they got together and we got to stop this. So they brought it. All that shit was done by the record companies and the powers that be.
Okay, so you
keep us divided.
Okay, so
the music is a powerful thing.
Yes, very powerful. Matter of fact, brother, if I'm not mistaken, music is the only thing that can enter your self-conscious mind into you without your permission. I mean, it can it can vibrate.
Music brought a lot of white and Black people together during the, you know, 60s, 70s. It brought us, although I'm not condoning integrate with, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, I am understanding what you're saying. It was music that brought people together. And, you know, there's an old saying, if you look at today's time, people, other race of people, they want to do things that are associated with black people, although they don't want to associate with us all the time. So there's an old saying, everybody wants to be a nigga, but not everybody want to be a nigga. So, right? So everybody wants to dance to our music. You know, so when we come out with things, look, I'm old enough to remember when I was breakdancing and strutting and doing that kind of stuff and listening to rap music like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and all those kind of people. A lot of the white folks were like, "Oh, what is that kind of music? That's horrible." Now you got mainstream America playing our music, making sayings that we say, words that we say, and trying to popularize it as if it's theirs. So when I see someone like a Vanilla Ice or someone like an Eminem, and I know you know this history, there was, and for everybody in the chat room listening, there was a man named Al Jolson. And Al Jolson was a white man who performed in, you know it, Elder, blackface. And, right. He would perform in blackface and try to mimic what he thought was black people. When you look at the show Amos and Annie, and you know this show very well, Elder, you've lived longer than I have. Amos and Annie came out of a radio show originally in which you had a couple of white boys talking and acting like they were black on the damn radio, okay? And so that was what you would call like minstrel shows or mimicking black people. Well, guess what? We still got some minstrel showing going on today when you have white guys like an Eminem or like a Vanilla Eminem who he doesn't have to wear blackface, but he simply puts on a costume, clothing, jewelry, moves around with a certain swagger, raps a certain way. And then you'll even have black folks. If I'm not mistaken, it was Dr. Dre and some of these Negroes that put this white boy on. And you can't tell me there's a more talented young black male out there. But Dr. Dre, they put this guy on, made him popular. Black folks got themselves fooled by him. Now he's rich, living well off of our support, just like they stole jazz from us. And you know that very well, Elder. What are your thoughts? Because you've seen how our music, you go back to Motown where the music was about love, loving our women, loving our family, to now it's about a garbage bag. What are your thoughts?
So true. Those people are not to talk about it. Everything we do, they copy. We created everything. Rock and roll. Rosetta Tharpe. She was the creator of rock and roll. Then come Little Richard. Then come Chuck Berry. Then come Tina and Ike Turner. Mm-hmm. And motherfucking Elvis Presley, he made out on the motherfucking list. Yeah, he created rock and roll. He ain't created a damn thing.
Yeah, he stole it. All of it was stolen.
That's right.
Us. All of it was stolen. He stole everything from us. Let me ask you another question too, brother. There's a brother in the chat room goes by the name Raw Black 59. He says, I remember black police officers cannot arrest white people. Now, Elder, you lived around this time. You would have black officers who could only arrest black people in black communities, but they could not arrest white people. What the hell is that all about? How did that go down? What was your you had first-hand experience with that living in the Louisiana area?
Yeah, that's true. But not catch no white man. That's right. They gonna arrest you. Mm-hmm. But they couldn't catch it, even in New Orleans. Mm. That's right.
Wow.
Now they can do it now. You know, but back then back in the 50s, 60s, mm-hmm. 40s, they couldn't do that.
Couldn't do that.
And wow. Just like today, if a black man black police officer shoot a white person, even accidentally, they want to hang him. But they kill us every day. In the whole world looking at it, and nobody go to jail.
Wow, wow. Lion's Den, brother, I want you to ask the elder another question if you got a question in mind. But before we do that, I see conscious of genocide. Where you been, brother? I support you, brother. You're my brother, conscious of genocide. Where have you been? Don't forsaken me, brother. It's good to see you in there. Lions Den, can you do the honors and name some of the folks in the chat room, give them a little bit of love, and of course, ask a question, brother, if you don't mind.
Okay. I send a shout out to Queen. I know who I am. King Hebrew, that guy from Texas, Xander, the real Aaron Collins, Joanna D. King, Vonda Harris, Brother Danubian, Bon, Roy B, Sonia C's, All Reliable, let's see, Diane H, Melanation TM. We also got Sosa, Mark C, Maurice Muhammad, G Scott, Coco 21 Neely, Lefford Thomas, and that's basically it.
All right, Lions, and rip it away, brother.
All right. You said before that basically I mean, you've been through the civil rights movement in the past, and when and I overheard you guys saying about hip hop and what changes and everything. We remember the Public Enemies, remember the X-Clans, and Sister Soldier, by the way. But now, since hip hop has changed, what do you think has changed during hip hop back in those days and now?
All right.
Okay, we're getting a little bit of feedback, but Elder, did you hear what Lions Den said, brother? Could you hear something?
No, I had some bad feedback.
Yeah, we got a little feedback. Let me see. Lions Den, do you got something on, brother? You may need to turn down or mute your do you got something else turned on? Because I noticed when you start talking, brother, that's what I'm hearing the most. I'm hearing the feedback.
Let me see something real quick.
Everybody in the chat room tonight, I want to thank y'all for being here. So let me give y'all some love. Breaking. Lions Den will be back soon. Okay. When Lions Den, have you been able to do whatever adjustments you need, brother?
Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, this is better. Now, Lions Den, ask that question again. And I don't hear as much feedback, which is great. Go right ahead.
Okay. All right. My question is that you guys referring to about hip hop back in the days, and when you talk about the Public Enemies, the X-Clans, and Sister Soldier, and then it turns out now you got the Nicki Minaj, you got the you got all them other rappers now in the future. I mean, my question to you is what's the change with hip hop back in those days to hip hop now?
Well, back in those days, it was conscious. It was uplifting, spiritual. Nowadays, you got a lot of rob, steal, kill, talking about our women, a lot of thottism, thugism, all kind of nonsense. That's the big difference.
That's a very big difference. Elder, let me get your opinion because I did a video today. I'm gonna let me just do something real quick. I'm gonna bring the picture of Brother Ben X back on the screen if I can. And there it is, Brother Ben X. I did a video today using this avatar on the screen. Of course, Elder, you can't see it, you're on the phone, but everybody else will be able to see it in the chat room. And I brought up the issue about what happened to Brother Ben X. And I listened to another brother that goes by the name Pharaoh says that, and he talks about how we can't afford to be arguing and bickering on YouTube on these panels with each other using, you know who, Mayonnaise Man's platforms to have these discoursive arguments, and we have to really start consciously taking account of how this destroys our channels, how we can individually destroy our channels by flagging each other, having beef with one another, arguing over issues that arguing on YouTube about it ain't going to make any change in the outer community, which is where we need to really be, because I have my foot in the community, Elder, and that's really where the battle is. It's not on YouTube. Using these platforms to get a message out is powerful, but what we really need is to have our own medium. Now, I've been saying this. I interviewed Brother Yusef, who's the owner and operator of Black Junction TV. Elder, you should get your materials over there. You can actually take your links from any of your videos, and you can link those links into his platform and drop your existing material over there. Now, he has a membership where you can add your material on there for free, or you can have premium membership where you pay $10 a month. I paid a brother $10 a month because he's not taking corporate money. I interviewed him and I said, hey, when are you going to get live streaming on Black Junction TV? He says he wants to work on that. It takes a lot of bandwidth. You got to be patient. Black people have contributed to the success of YouTube being where it is. And what's going on with YouTube, brother, and I want to know if you noticed this. YouTube, I believe, and many others are saying this, is that they are trying to purge many of us out of Black YouTube. They want to purge people who bring up social commentary, who speak about things that bring about opening people's minds. And so when you have a large platform like yourself and Brother Ben X, who can reach the minds of so many people, they're looking at that and they're saying, you know what? We got to take down some of these channels because they're resonating in the minds of Black people. Now, they would rather us argue, bicker with each other, get into issues about Black men and Black women and all that kind of stuff, and constantly fight each other, which leads to nothing constructive in the long run. They would rather that. But when you have a brother like Ben X, who hasn't harmed anybody, he speaks truth to power. His association with Farrakhan, I'm pretty sure it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. I understand that. But just looking at what happened to the young brother's channel, and today he came on my platform and surprised me, dropped his links in there. Everybody was very supportive of the brother. What are your thoughts? Because they had taken down some of your channels, and I believe that they're coming after us. And my question is, do you think that we're going to need to sort of censor some of what we say on YouTube, considering that it is owned by Google, and you already know who Google is operated by? And according to Pharaoh he says that as Black people, we have to adapt a corporate ideology. What does that mean? Corporate meaning that we have to unify as a conglomerate together to think about building something together to employ our young people, to build something for ourselves like media platforms. We have to build something in a corporate structure that is a Black corporate structure, not a European corporate structure, a Black first corporate structure. I said a lot. What are your thoughts, brother? Rip it away.
That's right. I believe 100% in that. Just like this brother channel, Black Junction. If all us going over there, he can get enough bandwidth. He can get sponsored. And we'll have our own Black platform.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let us deal with YouTube, and that's the white man's shit. And he can shut us down anytime to get ready. And if all of us just go to the Black, it's 50,000 Black people go to Black Junction. It'll be a powerful test. If we all go there,
But see, this is the problem, though, Elder. When Black people see Black people being scammed by other Black people that are prominent, it hurts brothers like Brother Yusef, who has a legitimate platform. All right, he's not ripping anybody off. He's allowing you to put your links over there. He's allowing you to upload your videos, and he's not censoring you. But the problem is, I don't see as many of us going over there as we should to put stuff on this platform, maybe because, okay, he's not what YouTube is. Okay, YouTube's got a lot of shine. And people are not gonna like what I got to say. But some way or another, we love this mayonnaise man. We can't let the mayonnaise man go. Black people feel comfortable with mayonnaise man. It's almost like we're on a slave plantation again. We just can't let Pharaoh go. We just can't let Master go. We can't let mayonnaise man go. So we say the mayonnaise man's ice is colder than the black man's ice. And so we stick with the mayonnaise man because we want the mayonnaise man to validate us. We want the mayonnaise man to say, we good. Okay, Master's sick, I'm sick. And like I said before, there's two kinds of black people. I don't care what nobody say. There's two kinds of black people: house Negroes and field Negroes. The question is, which one are you? So, Elder, with that said, brother, as we're coming up close to the time that you're going to have to leave us, unfortunately, because I know you said you had an hour to give us, and we still got a little bit more time left, brother. What do you think about what I said? What are your thoughts about that? Because this is their shit, and they can get us off anytime they want. But what happened to Ben X was wrong. It's not right in my mind, and we should support that, brother. Now, even if you're not a fan of Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, I don't care. I'm just talking about what happened to that young man, because that young man is decent, and we need brothers giving us real media, because that shit that we got on television, let's see, MSNBC, let's see, ABC, Roland Poley Martin, who doing all that buck dancing that he was doing with Hillary Clinton, and we got the TV disaster, we got what's that, BET disaster, we got the Root, and all these other publications that are run and operated by people who don't even look like us. At the end of the day, what are your thoughts? I said a mouthful.
Well, you said you said it all.
but I want to hear. I said too much though, brother. Go right ahead. You got the full floor.
Yeah, one reason they got brother off because he was bringing the masses of the young people together. One thing about this demon, he don't want to hear the truth. Mm-hmm. Because once a lot of our people wake up, it's gonna be trouble in the land for somebody. And that's one reason that he deal with Farrakhan. That's another reason they probably took it down. You know, that's why I figure we should support Black justice or whoever come up with our own shit. You know, we got enough technicians, we got enough people to do the same thing YouTube did. Mm-hmm. In Google. Mm-hmm. They got a lot of our people that are in the technical field that can make it happen. But they need support though. And you got too many scammers, you know, people you can't trust. So it's a hard way to go.
Okay. Elder, I gotta ask you this question. You've had a chance over the years to observe YouTube, all the infighting between Black men and Black women, and all the naysaying and all the issues. From your perspective and your experience, what do you think is wrong with the relationship between Black women and Black men as it relates to today? Or have we always had these problems? What is your thoughts on it? Because that's a big issue on Black YouTube, between Black men and Black women in terms of respecting each other. Black men, we have our issues about the Black community in terms of single motherhood and young Black boys, and whether having a lot of single mothers without Black men in their lives is ruining young Black males who are growing up to be what you heard on YouTube. They're growing up to become simps. They're growing up to become beta males. They're growing up to worship the matriarch and not a patriarch system in which the father is the head of the family. Now you're old school. You come from a time when a man was a man, a Black man was a Black man. So let's get into a little bit of that with the time that we have left. What are your thoughts?
Well, it started way back in the game with that welfare system. You don't need no man. And that broke up the family.
Okay, now folks, Elder Rashad has lived a lot of life. And a lot of times us younger brothers, we get on these channels and we talk about this kind of stuff. And sometimes we're told, oh, that's not the problem. He lived it. So he ain't going by no reading it from a book. He ain't going by no statistics that he got off of a website. He's going by what he lived and has seen. Go ahead, Elder. Continue speaking, brother.
Yeah, just like I said, it started from the welfare system.
Now,
that broke up the family.
Broke up the family, okay.
Broke up the family. Once you ain't got no strong man in the house to put discipline and respect, put his foot down when things go wrong, you know, raising your child right. You can teach a young boy how to be a man. Even teach a young girl how to be a woman. You know, both mother and father.
Okay.
But you ain't got that.
Don't have that.
That's why you got so many sister-ass young boys coming up. Because a lot of people might not like what I'm about to say. But a woman cannot raise no man to be no boy to be no damn man.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let me.
Some of them might think. I mean, you have some cases where you got some good mothers, but you need a man in the house.
Okay. Let me say this. I have someone who's been following me, very loyal, and I love her. Sonia Sees is in the chat room. She says that she believes that it was slavery that broke the family up and not the welfare system. What is your opinion?
Nah. I come up with family. I wasn't raised by my biological mother and father, but I was raised by two people that was stable. We could find a house, and everybody in that neighborhood could find a house. Okay. We had family. All my friends had. Everybody was there.
Okay, Elder, let me say this. This might be different than where she's coming from. Some people have made an argument that black people were the most unified when we were in slavery because we were gathered together, and when we came out of slavery into Reconstruction, what was one of the first things that a lot of black people did? They got married. Because remember, let's keep this in mind. Remember, everybody listening, black people were not allowed to get married during slavery, which is why they came up with what? Jumping the broom. Jumping the broom was a ritual that our ancestors came up with as a way to get married. There was no legal documentation at that time that allowed black people to be quote unquote married technically, right? But one of the things that black people did coming out of that whole era, from what I understanding history, is that it was a lot of black men were marrying black women. And I believe there's this notion that black men don't marry black women, but the statistics don't add up that we actually do. Even though you got the interracial stuff, and I know sisters don't like that when brothers being with white women and all this kind of stuff, and I'm not into no white women, so I'm not pushing that narrative here tonight. But what are your thoughts about that, about black men marrying black women through your life? What have you seen about black men and their love for black women, Elder?
Hell, that's all I seen when I was coming up. I ain't seen too many decades. Nobody messing with too many decades.
Okay.
That shit come late. That shit probably come down to the 80s, 90s, when that stuff started coming into fruition.
Okay.
And when I was coming up, everybody had black, just black on black.
Yes. Okay.
That's the way it was. But we didn't deal with no white people.
Okay.
Coming when I was coming up, because you couldn't go in their neighborhood. Well, I was raised that they had white Harvey and black Harvey, had a big old fucking canal, but sometimes the railroad tracks divide the blacks from the white.
Yeah, that's another history that a lot of us need to really study, that a lot of the black communities were always divided from the white communities by railroad tracks. And a lot of
canal.
Exactly. And you always knew as a black person, tell me if I'm wrong or right, Elder, that if you crossed those railroad tracks, that you knew that you were going to be in the white neighborhood and they were going to try to do harm to you. So a lot of black folks grew up like that. So Elder, this.
So when I was a little boy,
go ahead.
We had to go during the summertime. We had to go together to the pool. So we had to cross the canal, go in the white folks' neighborhood to get where we was going. Sometimes they used to be running us, you know, shit like that. Yeah, because if they catch you at the wrong time, they'll kill you like that.
Okay. Brother Elder, it's about 8 o'clock now. Brother, are you how are you on time? Are you at that point where you want to kind of chill now? I mean, I'm glad to have you on here. I know you said you had an hour that you could give us. Lions Den, before the Elder has to leave us, unfortunately. Hey, Brother George Makeham's in the house. What's up, George Makeham? I'm probably going to have a Q&A and bring some folks onto a panel right now. But Lions Den, before the Elder leaves us, do you have anything you want to ask, brother?
Yes. My final question for the Elder is, tell us, sir, what can we do in the Black community that could come together without any division, without anybody trying to interfere with what's going on with us? Tell us what we can do as a community to bring all of us together.
Well, we're going to have to start having some community meetings. Have community meetings and bring out a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, start getting together with the city government that we want black policemen in our neighborhood. We want dope out of our neighborhood. We want all this nonsense. And we need leaders to put that into fruition.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll slowly but surely change everything.
Okay. But Elder, I personally believe, Elder, when it comes to social issues, Black people, we have to be accountable for cleaning this shit up. When it comes to the drugs, we are the leaders that we're looking for. We got to get the drugs out of our community. We got to hold our community accountable. We got to hold young men accountable. We got to start raising these young Black boys into men. We got to start mentoring. We got to start, if we want our women to respect us, right? And we gotta not only hold them, we not only have to hold our women accountable for things that they do that's negative, but we also have to hold ourselves accountable as Black men as to what is our role in the community. Because if we're absent, look, I was married for 15 years, been divorced for 10. My daughter is a very important part of my life. So I take the responsibility, even if her mother and I are not together anymore, to raise my daughter, to be in my daughter's life every step of the way. That's my damn responsibility. Now you can't get past that. No ifs, buts about it. We as men have to we have to be the solution bearers. We have to be the ones to set the tempo. If we're going to go around YouTube or any platform or anywhere beating our chest about I'm the man, then we can't talk about being a man. We have to be it through our actions, our behavior, our attitude, because attitude reflects leadership. What are your thoughts?
Very well played. We got to stand up to be men and then boast in command.
Mm-hmm.
All this nonsense and throw it and put some discipline in our children. Mm-hmm. Change our children's attitude, you know, start teaching them about our history.
Mm-hmm.
And get rid of white baby dogs and this, that, and all that. Start bringing in our own.
Okay. Elder, before you go, this is my last question to you. You have seen a lot of generations. You've seen us go through all the different stages of development to where we are now. You've seen Black leaders come and Black leaders be infiltrated by this government, this system, this FBI, this CIA, all of this economic hitman stuff, all this treachery, all this treachery that's happened to us, the infiltration of our Black organization by Black people that look like us, by the way, working for the government as agents. You've seen all these things that black people have gone through to where we are today. We know that the reality is that we don't live forever. We're all going to go meet our maker. We're all going to go back to the dark matter. Because I believe that black people, I don't believe it. I know it. Black people are dark matter. We're high vibrating matter. You came on my show about melanin. That's what we are. The universe was created by melanin. We are from the universe, the dark matter, vibrating high energy people. We know that we're going to go back to where we come from, to that dark matter is where we go when we die. Okay. I don't really believe in death, Elder. I just believe that we go back from which we come from, which is dark matter. So my question to you, when you leave this earth as we know it, what are your wishes for us as black people that will still be here in the third dimension we call American or call the world that we're in? What are your wishes that you see or hope for your people if you're not around to see it for yourself? What are your hopes and wishes, Brother Elder, for our community?
Hope we progress and get out of the dilemma that we're in. Before you saying about when the elder leave here, we all coming back.
Yeah, you're not leaving.
To finish the job.
Yes, you're not leaving here, Elder.
Delta Max are coming back.
Mm-hmm.
The Nat Turner's coming back.
That's right.
All the warriors will be back.
Right.
We'll be back in time to finish the job.
Right. Right.
Because just like you said, I don't believe in death. The way you leave here, you still got to come back and finish your job to get our people forward and get out of this dilemma. But we will get out of this dilemma.
Well, we got Grace Mitchell in the chat room saying, what kind of question was that I asked you? It was very clear what I asked the brother. I'm asking him when he's not here in the third dimension on the earth as we know it, because we know that we live through our spirit. I'm rephrasing the question. I wanted to know what is his hopes for the people that are in the physical third dimension on this planet, because we all going to leave in we all going to go to our spirit. We all are spirit when we leave here. But the question is, well, now when we leave here, when you're just not here in the physical, what is his thoughts about and wishes for black people? And he just go ahead.
That person don't understand the physical and the spirit.
Exactly.
You know, that person don't understand our bodies are avatars.
Exactly.
We are two people. We are physical and we are spirit. The true nature of man is spirit.
Mm-hmm.
True nature of man is spirit.
True nature of man is spirit.
That's why they got a thing they call reincarnation.
Okay.
You go in the spirit world, whatever you did on this earth, you got to pay for your karma, and you got to come back and finish it up to move on to the next dimension of existence.
Wow. Deep. Elder, let me let everybody, anybody that's in the chat room that's not familiar with Baba Elder Rahson, please go to his channel. I put a description in this video of his channel, so you can click into it and go to his channel. I will also put a link right now of his channel. I'm going to put the link in there right now. Give me a minute, folks. And you can go to his channel and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the brother's channel. I'm sure there's quite a few people in the chat room right now who are probably followers of the elder, probably already familiar with the elder. But if you're not, go to his channel, check him out. The brother says it like it is. He does not cut any bones, doesn't pull any punches. The brother is 100% authentic. I'm so happy that he was able to give us of his time this evening. Brother Elder, you told me you had an hour to give. I'm going to be respectful of your time. This is what I want to do, though, brother. I definitely want to bring you back. And I also personally want to help you to figure out the Google Hangout, because all you really need to do if you got a smartphone, Elder, is download the Google Hangout app to your phone. and that will allow.
I got the Google Hangout.
Oh, damn, I could have had you straight. I could have, I wish I would have known that, brother, because I could have sent you a straight link to get you literally on the panel where you could show your actual face on here. But that's okay. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring you back sometime in the soon future, and we're going to bring you on right on the show. Actually, I mean, you're live now, and we're going to bring you on where you're on the screen, physically on the screen, where everybody can see you, like live on the screen. But
the problem is I didn't know how to hook it up with a link with nobody.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna call you. We're gonna talk. We're gonna figure that out. That's gonna allow you to be able to hook up with other people too. So I'll work that out with you sooner or later. But when you look at this video again, Brother Elder, you can't see it right now unless you're looking at. I got a beautiful thumbnail of you that's on the screen right now that everybody's looking at. That's going to be a part of the of the channel. So I do a lot of elaborate thumbnails of people. You're going to love this thumbnail. I'm going to probably send you a picture of it when I text it to you. So with that said, I'm gonna keep this thing going when you're gone, Elder. I'm probably going to bring some people on to a panel to discuss the conversation that we had with you and just discuss any general issues that are going on. So, Brother Elder, I thank you for being here. What I want to do is give you the proper respect. So I want to give you a clap and everything for being here, brother. Thank you.
Information is power. It's nothing to be afraid of.
He's blessed in love. He's blessed in love. He's blessed in love.
So, Elder, with that said, can you give us your last words? And you know what I like to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, before I get out of here, I want to give thanks and praise all the sisters and brothers.
Okay.
I see all the family and not the family in here. Peace, blessed, and love to all of y'all. And I'm glad y'all turned the eyes. And I just love y'all, man.
Woo, love you too, Elder. Lions, then you got any last words to say to the Elder?
Well, yes, I do. Hold on. Yes, I do have a last word for the Elder. You are a legend and a leader, and I have none but love and respect for you, my brother.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Elder.
Thank you very much.
Elder, take care of yourself, brother. I'll be talking to you soon. We'll figure out what's going on, Art. I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna bring a panel on too. Elder, I'll be talking to you. We'll figure out this Google thing, and I'll show you how you can get links and everything from people. We're gonna get it going so that you can start being able to come on the panels and stuff live when you like to and when you are invited and all that good stuff. I'm glad that you came on with me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Brother, let me just tell you something too, Elder, before you leave. I actually was following you before I actually started doing YouTube myself. And I went under another name. And the person that introduced me told me about you. Well, I found you by accident on YouTube, and I was hooked on you right away. And then I told my mom about you, and she just loves you. I mean, so my mom, if my mom's out there listening tonight, because she kind of checks out what I do on YouTube and always talks to me behind the scene. If my mom is out there and my family out there, she's going to love this. My family's going to love this tonight because they just love you, Elder. They love what you're about. They love your strength. They love your outspokenness. Don't stop being who you are, brother, at all. If you, once again, just like Ben X, if you lose your channel, you got a home here. I'm going to support you. And for Brother Ben X, if you're out there again, brother, I love you too. I'm sorry about what happened to you, brother, but I know you got the backup channel. And everybody, check out my live stream that I did today earlier. It's entitled "My Thoughts About Brother Ben X." I'm probably one of the few people who did a video about him where he actually came into the chat room, dropped his links, had a few conversations with folks, and he came right on in, shot the hell out of me, and shared some love, shared his link, and I gave him some love. And then, of course, when I was doing the live stream, Elder, all of a sudden my live stream got cut off. All of a sudden I couldn't get back into it, and all of a sudden it reloaded itself back up. So YouTube definitely didn't like the fact that I was giving the brother love. Okay, now that's right. So everybody, if you check out that video, I got the link to his second channel on there that you can click into from the description, and you can go over and subscribe to the brother's second channel. Okay, Brother Ben X, this is Brother Elder. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. I did put links in there. I'll put them in there again. Put them in there 2 times. Subscribe to Brother Elder's channel if you have not. Elder, thank you for being here, brother. I'm going to end the phone call, and we will be back in contact soon, brother. You understand what I'm saying to you? I love you.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, brother.
Peace, blessings, and love to all the family.
Woo! Peace, blessings, and love.
Peace, blessings, and love. Peace, blessings, and love, family. This is Rahson out of the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana, coming to you with another great and informative video. Peace, blessings, and love to all the melanated family and mankind.
Wait a minute, info.
All right, folks.
Wait a minute.
We're going to do a little bit of Q&A.
Wait a minute, info.
Lionsden, are you there with me, brother?
Yes, I'm still here, info.
All right, do me a favor, Lionsden. Can you give some love to folks in the chat room while I send a few links out to folks to join the panel? If you don't mind, brother, I love you.
Okay, let me get a shout out.
I'm gonna turn this music down.
Yeah, I'm gonna start over real quick. I'm gonna get a shout out to Joanna D. King, Queen Know Who I Am, Bon G. Scott, that guy from Texas, Sun God, Art Newstall, Frida Thompson, Brother the Nubian, Emil A, Sheila Furness, Zachary Lawton, discussion with Dina, O Reliable, Diana H, Roy V, Beautiful Forever. We're gonna go scroll down real quick. The Real Aaron Collins, Brother the Nubian, the Sun God, Chinoa Cherokee, Denmark Rebellion Vesey. Let's see here. Basically that's it right now, info. Info, you there?
I'm here, brother. I just muted myself. I'm going to try to give a few people a link that I want come on. Just bear with me, brother. So, Lionsden, what do you think about the interview? What did everybody think about Elder Rashad? He came in. I mean, he put it down tonight. I got to figure out. I got to help the brother with his. I got to help the brother with his setting up his Google where he can come into stuff through links and all that kind of stuff. But he's a good the brother. He's a good man, you know.
Yeah, he is. I think brother Rahson, the elder Rahson, is basically a respectable brother. He's a respectable leader. He speaks nothing but the truth. And I'm very happy that he is a guest with us tonight. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah, I'm very happy he was a guest. I've been wanting to get him on for a long time. For me, I mean, there's a lot of people that I want to interview and connect with, but for me, it was amazing to go from seeing this brother on YouTube from afar, really admiring him for speaking his truth. I mean, he's an older brother, he's an elder, so you always talk to respect your elders, but he's so raw and he tells it like it is. It just instantly, I became a fan. So I got a little goosebumps having him on tonight, talking to him. And I got goosebumps being able to personally call him up and talk to him. I mean, it's a fantastic experience to have a brother like this on with all of his wisdom and his experience, you know?
Exactly.
And so, like I said today, earlier when I talked about what happened to Brother Ben X, we really, as a people, we need to use these situations to really use it to bring us together and realize that we are not each other's enemy. we may have differences. Brother George, I send you a link. I just sent you the link, Brother George. You're already in my system, so you already should have one. Got to get Brother George on, and I need to get that intellectual brother Jenkins on. Moses Jenkins. Get my intellectual brothers on here. Intellectual conversation. Intellectual talk. Let's see. Who else should I bring on? Let me see. Anyway, how's everybody doing out there? Let me bring on Cap.
Info man.
Yes, sir.
What's good, brother?
Oh yeah. Now we're getting these intellectual brothers on. We got Art, who is he's a professor, teacher. We got Moses Jenkins, Brother George Makem. I know I send you a link. Yes, intellectual brothers are coming on here. Love it. This is what I want. This is what I wanted. Brothers with knowledge, brothers that can tell it like it is. Hey, Brother George, you have captivated me, brother, by your series that you've been doing. I caught it early this morning. I fell asleep and woke up and caught what you were saying about the situation with women and men. You was on point, man. 100% on point. Can't deny it. It's the truth, on the money, brother. So I love it. You heard some of the interview I did with the elder. You know, what are your thoughts? Brother Moses Jenkins, you're on here. I interviewed the elder Baba Rahson, and you know, he goes way back. So I was talking to him about a variety of things about black people and as it relates to being in segregation, whether it was the best thing for us being in segregation or not. He's concerned about some of the stuff that he's seeing on YouTube, some of the foolishness that we get ourselves in with these discussions that don't lead to anything constructive. You know, he said a lot of different things, brothers, but I just wanted to bring y'all on here to kind of talk about this. And because he says that me and him agreed that when you die, you leave this earth. We don't really die. Our spirits still live on. But I asked him the question, what he wants to see his people rise to. And he really wants to see us get our act together. He really wants to see us rise up and be who we are. And he also recognizes that we're using a platform that really isn't our platform. And so any and everything that we do that we ratchet up, they can take us off of here anytime. And Brother Ben X, I hate what happened to that brother. But it's another example of why we do need to have our own. And Brother George, I know you listened to Pharaoh Says That. He spoke about a corporate ideology that black people should adapt, a corporate ideology to do for self. And of course, we have the scamming going on that sort of makes people feel like they can't trust their own people. So what are your thoughts, brothers? Brother Art, George, what are your thoughts? I mean, anything y'all want to put on the table, go right ahead, brothers.
I would say that listen, this is the white man's show. Like, they just took my video down that I made Thursday. When the LGBT and social media is just a distraction for the evolution of transhumanism and AI. They took that down when I was breaking down how they're using homosexuality to distract us from designer babies and CRISPR, and how they actually created, they mixed spliced the DNA of a goat and a spider and made like a goat spider. I showed the video how they did it in the lab. We showed the astrazine and how they changed the genetic code of a frog from a male to a female, and they actually had babies. They flagged it and they took it down. So we're not allowed to really show real information. We can do a lot of foolery and fuckery. That's cool. But anything that's on real information, yeah, they coming to get that. They coming to take that. So we got to be careful. You know, one of the elders told me, you know, a couple weeks ago to tone it down a little bit. You know, if you know the white man is the devil, you ain't got to show him your whole hand. Yeah, I mean, you know, you in his house calling him the devil, he can do whatever he want. He can take that shit down anytime he want. Yeah. So, you know, we got to be careful in the way we disseminate our messages, because again, in 2018, black identity and black nationalism is under attack as usual. If we was cooning or going around and being white friendly and voting Republican and drinking tea and having the flags behind our head, when we talking, oh, we had 300,000 subscribers. White people be all in, they be playing the country music. Garth Brooks be playing in the back, all that good stuff. But the minute you talk about a black identity and what to do for self, now you're a problem to the dominant side. So be careful with the way you disseminate the messages in their house. We live in Satan's house thinking that the rent is free.
Okay, brother Maurice Muhammad, I want you on the panel, brother. I'm sending you a link right now. George, brother, this is why I like listening to you. You did that video where you said, hey, what the hell are we doing with our platforms if we're not helping our people? You are like a wake-up call for me, because I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, I need to switch up some things that I'm doing, because we can still get our points across to our people without being so blatant and losing our platforms. You know what I'm saying? And right. I'm really, and I got a couple of videos that are coming down the pipeline. I really want to do, or am about doing videos that can help our people. I've got a video that I'm going to be dropping soon. I'm going to do a premiere on it. That's going to be about job opportunities that brothers can get coming out of prison. If you got a felony on your record, corporate opportunities that are out there for you, while at the same time, if you still have the desire to be an entrepreneur, you need a job opportunity to get yourself on your foot. And then there's a group in Los Angeles called Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles, who I believe was founded by some brothers that were in prison that are trying to employ brothers out of prison and sisters. Okay. So I got a video where I'm running down a long list of these job opportunities, while at the same time encouraging brothers that want to still focus on entrepreneur. And I know in San Quentin prison, where I've been, they got this thing going on there called code. They got coding, where brothers are learning how to code. So when they get out of prison, they're going to be able to be their own entrepreneurs, do their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where the money is now, man. Writing code. So yeah, I mean, I agree. We did you see the live stream we did with Obsidian on there today?
Yeah, I had a chance to watch some of that.
Yeah. Me and brother Moses and Black Ice TV, we humbled the brother.
Proud of you brothers were making good points, and that's just truth is truth, man. Truth is truth, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna go burnt out. I'm gonna mute up and let some of the brothers come in.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see what I'm gonna do. I thought I had brother Maurice Muhammad in my. Go right ahead. Anybody that wants to come in and speak, go right ahead. I'm trying to send a link to brother Maurice Muhammad right now.
Sound test. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go right ahead, brother.
He was off mute, so he can go. He can go first.
I'm gonna mute myself because I'm trying to send a link.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I couldn't accept your phone call, brother, at the time. So here I am, bro.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you about that later on, Cap.
Roger that.
Yeah, Cap, I'll talk to you about that situation later, though, brother. That's not a conversation for us to go live with right now.
All right, man. No problem.
But anybody, but we can still talk, though, Cap. You can still say whatever thoughts you mean. You had a chance to listen to the stream tonight with the elder. So anything you want to add to that, brother, go right ahead. Or anyone else wants to bring up any issue, go right ahead.
Hey, it's Brother Moses. Can I say a couple of words?
No, you can say more than a couple of words, Brother Moses. That's why I have you on here. Go right ahead, brother.
So it's going to sound a little bit long-winded just because there's so much to unpack here. When we're looking at the Brother Ben X channel termination, I want to state the obvious. So first of all, let me state the obvious. First Amendment rights are there to be a shield, not a sword, the right to say, the religious freedom and all of those things, those are far too often not rights that are guaranteed or protected or even extended the courtesy of to people who are either Black, if they want to use minority as a status, or if they want to say, you believe in a belief that's other than Christian, so Muslims, so non-Christian women, there's a lot of different factions of our society where we don't get that benefit. There's some irony in it too, right? Because you have them in tongue-in-cheek, you'll have those who believe in the Constitution and say they are nationalists. They fight for the rights of all people. And, I can't be racist because I believe in these laws and things, who would still agree that taking down Brother Ben X's channel was the right thing to do out of some blind allegiance to a contrary or a contradicting value set. So what am I saying here? You have the Trump administration even today going out, and here's a quote. In far too many places across the globe, individuals continue to face harassment, arrests, or even death for simply living their lives in accordance with their beliefs. The United States will not stand by as spectators in the face of such oppression. That was that Mike Pompeo guy. He said in a statement, he went on to say, protecting and promoting international religious freedom is a top foreign policy priority of the Trump administration. So with that being the premise, is something that just came out. They said it was like 10 countries that they put like a hard reprimand against. They always saying, we condemn your religious intolerance and things like that. These egregious violations that we've seen even enacted today against brothers like Brother Ben X. Is it politically motivated? Is it financially? Do they just not want to see a brother survive? My brother O'Shea always says the white man has his foot on my neck, but is there some of that playing out even here when you have people who are creating or using this platform for a space on much needed information about the Nation of Islam, about the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Is there the Honorable Louis Farrakhan? Is there a momentum or a movement in place that says we respect the United States Constitution, but at the same time still violating the rights of some of the most vulnerable here in America? That is my point there. I would agree that it's the latter, that there is a heck of a movement coming in place now that wants to still say we are national, we are America, we are one America, we are one human race, but at the same time, it's tongue-in-cheek, still violating the rights of our citizens, people who look like us, by whatever the nomenclature, whether it's religion, whether it's gender, whether it's, keep going, religion, gender, any of those protected classes, disability, state, but race is also the big one. So just wanted to throw that out there. My spill is that by them, there's something underlying political that they're doing, even with the firing of my Morehouse brother, Mark Lamont Hill, who went down and had that speech at the United Nations. And the backlash of that was, well, back in the day, you didn't condemn Minister Farrakhan. So with that sentiment, that undercurrent was, well, do you condemn him now? And the answer was still no. I may not agree with everything that he says, but I do agree that his teachings need to be out there as something people have access to. Today shows that they are even willing to go beyond respect for the Constitution and any of those issues just to have a political agenda made. So that's my 2 cents. I'm gonna throw it in there for what it's worth, and then I'm gonna press on mute.
All right, brother. Thank you for everything that you said. And I want to make sure we give respect to Brother Maurice Muhammad. He's just come on board with us. Brother Maurice, let me, I have a lot of respect for you. I want to get your thoughts on, you saw the interview that I did with the elder. I did the best I could because he was talking through the phone, and I love hearing what the brother had to say. And I was very excited today when I did a stream supporting Brother Ben X. And I saw, and he came into my chat room. Brother George Macomb was there and a few others. He came in, he put his link in there with his second channel. So I was very surprised. I wasn't expecting the brother, but he came on in, and I support the brother. But what are your thoughts? I mean, what are your thoughts, brother? I'm glad you're here.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, big brother, for having me. It's definitely always a pleasure to be on. I really enjoyed the interview that you had with our elder brother, because it's crucial that we have a firm grasp on what happened before we were born, and understanding the tricks of the trade that the enemy continues to use. And we are at what I call a change of worlds. This period where we are now, we're at a change of worlds. And so it's very crucial on our behalf that we have the proper information, we have the proper programmatic thrust to accomplish which should be our righteous goals, where we need to be as a people, and how do we get there. Now, looking at Brother Ben's situation where they terminated his channel, Brother Ben's channel was a very successful channel, pushing the minister and the agenda of the Nation of Islam. That agenda, if we go back to the report on the Black family done on the Negro family done, I believe it was in either 63 or 65, they talk about the teachings of the Nation of Islam. And they say that that teaching of total white alienation must be stopped, because if it's successful here in the United States, then it's something that can be taken and used throughout the world. White people understand, or mayonnaise people, as you call them, they understand that they are not the majority in population on the planet. So for those of us that are the majority people on the planet, if we took that stance in totally ignoring and crossing them out, then their power would greatly diminish, because they're only in power because we allow it. They have never done anything on their own that they can truly say that they are supreme in. So therefore, they know we're at the change of worlds, and they know that the key part of revolution, it is the right information. That's why they use propaganda so much so that it can turn off the ears of the populace. If we look at the COINTELPRO program and a few things that J. Edgar Hoover and his gang was looking for, not only the rise of the Black Messiah, but what is the role? The role of the Black Messiah is to get the people to listen. Then the next step would be to get the people to take action. So if you can get them to listen and then get them to take action, then the enemy understands that you must be eliminated. So they are targeting us who have that ability, because they know that, again, we're at the change of worlds, and that means that their world is going down. You can look at their birth rate, you can look at their opioid crisis. They understand. You can look at their grip around the world, that it is breaking. It is breaking. So it's incumbent upon us, for us to do the right things, because this is our time now that we must strike out and do what is in our best interest for the future of our people.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it, try to keep it 1,000.
Thank you, brother, for those statements that you made, brother. Go right ahead, Art.
Yeah, Ben X pretty much is the archetype of our generation, at least from the Gen X standpoint, when we had positive hip hop. You know, when we had the Public Enemies, we had the X-Clans, we had the KRS-Ones. He is pretty much the embodiment of that in the 2000, I guess 2018. So, I think they see this more than we do. I mean, I'm quite sure they planned all of this a long time ago. They probably had to find some kind of technicality to say, hey, got you, over some small stuff, because he kept it clean. And plus, let's keep it real. I mean, I'd rather have my son listen to Ben X than Young Pharaoh, being, 13, 14, or 15. And I come from that same background. Assalamu alaikum, brother Maurice, same background as you, Mos 5427. out here. So knowledge of self, supreme wisdom all the way. So that's where I'm coming from. These are the things that we would hope for our young to embody and go on, because it's very heartbreaking to see our young really suffer, and we can't even help them because basically it's too far in reach. But when you have a brother like Ben X, you know, it's a good he's a good example. So I'm quite sure they saw that more than we did. I think they're trying to shut him down so he won't have any momentum. So it's very important that all of us, especially us brothers, really rally behind this brother and support him the best way we can.
That's right. Well, alaikum salam. I definitely agree. Definitely agree with what you said, big brother. We have to respond. We have to rally around our brother, because one thing that is showing the love that we have for each other, that is showing that we understand the time and what must be done as well. The enemy looks and see everything that we do as a litmus test to see how alive or dead we are. And if we just sit back and let what happens to Brother Ben continue to happen and we have no response, then they understand that we're still dead. But when we get up and do a meaningful response, that shows that we are alive and we are aware of what's going on. And I rest my mind.
Let's go over to thank you for what you had to say, brother. It's very important. Let's go over, see Lions then came back on. Brother George, you want to say any words, brother? And then I'm going to go over to Brother Cap afterwards. Okay, Brother Cap, you have anything you want to say, brother?
I'm going to try to do the best that I can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to give a salute. I want to give a salute to you, Brother Moses, Art, Brother Maurice, and Lions Den. Yeah, man, that was a very great interview you did with Uncle. I call him Uncle Elder. You know what I'm saying? And so he's I love that man. You know, he's be the type of uncle that I like to go sit next to every day and just absorb his knowledge. And his spirit is so positive. But right now, to be honest, I feel like I'm in a tug of war right now. And the enemy are watching us. They're watching us fight and bicker among each other. It's not helpful. And Brother Maurice, I just found out that you was in the military, man. So that's why I can recognize your spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I tried, whenever I do a live stream, I'm always trying to like unite everybody. I said, stop believing everything what the enemy is saying. Don't do that. Don't go for it. You know, it's like all it's doing is separating us. And it's hurting us. While we're making progress, all of a sudden this little drama comes about. Now we're sliding back down the hill of struggle. And so I went to Uncle Elder and I just told him how I felt, you know, in a respectful way and stuff. And he didn't take it hard because he know I come with respect at all times. Slide back down the hill of struggle. And so I go ahead, brother.
Sorry.
Information man.
I hit something on my thing. It's all right. That was a little feedback. Go right ahead. It's my fault. It's my fault.
Oh, yeah. So I ain't gonna talk long, man. It's like we gotta come together. I don't give a fuck. I really don't give a damn. First of all, we got to worry about identify our enemy. That's the main thing. I don't give a damn if you're a Christian, a Muslim, or a Hebrew. But we got to identify our main enemy. And after we conquer them fools, then we take care of the rest of the stuff afterwards. Right now, we just can be big about this. No, we can't do that. We can't. Because like I mentioned before, I fought next to rednecks and all that kind of stuff, and we understand we got an enemy to fight. After that, we're going to boxing ring, you know, to see who's who. But right now, as Melanoid family, we cannot be fighting among each other. It don't make sense. So I'm gonna shut my mic off and let the other brothers go ahead and So we gotta say.
Okay, Lions Den, you have anything you want to add, brother?
Yeah, I think what we should do is we got to remember that we and ourselves need to come together, because obviously, like Cap just said, that the enemy is watching us. He's watching what we do and what we say. So we gotta watch each other's backs. We gotta have our P's and Q's and have a code, so that from now on we gotta understand, like, if the enemy try to get at us, we ain't gonna let that to happen. We ain't gonna let anybody infiltrate us like that, especially on YouTube. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, brothers, that we as a community have to get a code and know what the enemy's thinking, because the enemy like I said, the enemy is trying to infiltrate what we do, and it's almost working. So we have to come together and say we're not going to allow that to happen. We got to respect our brothers and sisters and come together as a community. And that's all I'm saying for right now.
You know, just to add on to that, and we are at a state of war, and we have been in that state of war since we have come into contact with this enemy. And we should understand, or we know, that there are phases in war. There are different battle structures at different times. And one thing that we have never been able to properly do is fight with the enemy on all levels. And in order to be free, we're going to have to fight this enemy and win on all levels. When we stop and think about Fred Clark and Mark Hampton, the way that they were murdered, and it was one of us that drew a map of the apartment and gave it to the police. It was one of us that put sleeping pills in their water to make sure that when the enemy attacks, that the enemy attack is successful. Now, if we were operating under the flag of a different country and that was done, they would charge that offender with treason because of what he had done. Now, this brother lived amongst us until 1996, when he finally committed suicide and killed himself. We should understand that it is the enemy's main desire is infiltration, because when we are infiltrated, then the enemy will know our plans, our structure, and how we're going to move. And they're going to use people that look like us to do the infiltration. So we have to make sure that we are awakened and understanding what we're hearing that's coming out of our people's mouths, because some of us mean good. Some of us don't mean good for us at all. And some of us is just not properly educated on the enemy and who they are, and on self and what do we need and how we need to go. So we will definitely need to be able to create unity with those of like minds. And so I have suggested this before, that maybe we should have a council. And, you know, just like back in the day they had, where the mob had the table and all the mob leaders come and they discuss and hash out their problems. Maybe that is something like that we need, a round table where we have issues, then the parties can come to the table and get heard, and then a decision is made and everybody agrees to live up to that decision. So that means we have to establish code, and we have to establish our ability to enforce the code. We have to establish our ability to punish and reward those who break the code or who goes by the code. These are things that must be done, and it must be done now. And I'll rest my mic.
Yeah, brother Maurice. Yeah, I mean, you know, Brother Malcolm X was the one that sparked my awakeness, and then decades later, we learned who was the security that was around him. Come to find out, one of the guys was working for the enemy. The fatal day when Brother Malcolm got shot down. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this dude was working. He's part of the enemy. Mm-hmm. At the same time, he's supposed to protect him, and he gets shot. Now he's trying to save him. You know, so that's what I'm saying. What we're experiencing right now is people just like that dude that was supposed to protect Brother Malcolm. Mm-hmm. And this is what we're causing us this problem right now. Those type of people right there. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's all I wanted to say, brother. And it's an honor to talk to you too, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, beloved. And that's right. That dual allegiance is so deadly for us because we don't have a dual allegiance. Our allegiance is clear, but there are those of us, of our people that have that dual allegiance. And, you know, we can't trust them. We can't trust them at all. And at the time that we're living in now, we have to be right and we have to be strong because the enemy is falling, but they would like to take as many of us with them down. And we shouldn't let that happen. Thank you, beloved.
Beloved, let me build with you. Fred Hampton had said something along the lines of, we don't put out fire with fire, we're not seeking. It goes a little deep what he was referring to. The best ways to fight back against the conditions that we see, or how do we have that self-agency to go against all of the evil? I just leave it at evil that we're encumbered upon. One of the main veins that we have of thought is that, well, can we do something for the next generation that will have an impact that allows them to have a greater degree of agency as they reach adulthood and in the decisions that they want to make? Will they continue to walk in the right and proper footsteps? And so I think one of the bigger things that they're coming at now, and that they've possibly been doing for a while, is our ability to establish safe spaces, right? And so they don't want the message being put out there of, you know, the strong Black man and what does he look like and what is his lifestyle like? You know, the going and serving of other Black people and his community, the loving and cherishing of his wife, the respect that he earned in the household. These aren't the messages that you're going to hear. They're not the ones that you're going to see unless you have channels like Brother Ben X's that are up and running and him challenging the media norms that are there. We have some other good brothers like Information Man who wants to dive in on these conversations that critically analyzes the views from a political lens, whether they're pro-Black or they're conservative or they're liberal, whether they're religious lens. Are we open to having the conversations with our brothers who are Hebrew Israelite or Nuwapian, or, you know, even what is the dude? He doesn't believe in God. Like it's either agnostic or atheist. Atheist. So are we willing to even have those discussions to show true discourse and what it looks like from the barbershop level to the academic level to even at our points when we become contentious? So those are the ironing out stages, the norming stages of forming a council, right? When you bring together those minds who can deliver a message and they don't want that message out there. And when I say they, there are some Black folks who are still not ready or receptive. They are still too hurt, too sick. They are still too convinced of the other man's ice being colder. They love this integrationalist style. They love this idea that they have access to opportunity rather than being able to open their eyes and see that even the access has its restrictions. Even that access is like, I'm giving you a cookie, but I want 9 hours of your labor, and then I'm going to tax your labor, and then you can get your cookie. No, they don't want you moving into the space of being able to grow, own the land, grow the wheat, cultivate the crop, and then Make your own goddamn cookie. They don't want that. there is a they, like if you even talk about agricultural lifestyle, it's like a step backwards and a slap in the face to many folks like us. If you talk about women being able to knit and sew and create clothing and us owning the means of production, that's where the conversation can be had. But in order to get there, we have to be able to come to at least some table and have our conversations. So respect to Information Man, respect to Brother Ben X. And then also there was a one that he was talking about, the scamming allegations, Zaza Ali, people in the conscious community who may not be the best business managers. They may not have the best accountants. They may not have the best, Salesforce forecasts. They may not have it all together yet, but their hearts still seem to be in the right place. They still want to put on a good program. They want a retreat that allows for you to move out of your craziness, out of your slavery, out of what you're dealing with, and into a safe space where you can be pampered, which I don't think Black folks do enough of. Folks who are talking about health and wellness. What do you eat? What are you consuming? Why are you eating that? Here's an alternative. If you're willing to use this as an alternative, here's even a recipe book. And they're like, oh, no, you scammed me because that recipe book, how did you jump to the recipe book before you jumped to the mind state that said this is a health and a lifestyle change that I'm hoping you're receptive to? And we need that counsel that you're talking about, big bro. We need it. We need it urgently. We need it more than we need greater Sacramento Urban Leagues. We need it greater than NAACPs. We need it greater than the Black Chamber of Commerce in many senses. Because if we don't have a council where we can just work on these issues, then politics we might not be ready for or receptive to. That you know what I'm saying? We have to put our lives in order. And right now, our order right now is, how do we love one another? Can we start there? Can we start with being open to just being okay and comfortable with the love that we should show one to another? That's a good starting point if you ask me. And from there, that's going to take a council. Hebrews, Muslims, Nuwapian, atheists, backslidden Christians, all of us educated. We need a space where we can see them have their conversations, to where we can kind of learn where we're at in our sense of identity, rather than just jumping into these spaces that might be foreign. And so I just wanted to, I didn't want to really segue into the scamming allegations, besides the fact that that just shows to what I'm saying, people who don't show love. They do not have a sense of love. They don't say, well, how could I have helped that program be successful? How could I have helped in the selling of those books or the fulfilling of those orders? How could I have helped in aligning some resources, some people that I know who have, skill sets like Excel spreadsheet and QuickBooks and things like that, who could have been a resource? But instead of finding resources that they could align to these people who are falling short on their business skills, they just jump out and say, oh, they're scamming. Their information is fake. And I don't even want to go into it about that. So I'm going to just leave it right there, man. I've been long-winded enough. Thank you, brother.
No.
Salute to you, brother.
I like your long wind, brother. That's what it's about. Hey, George, now we need some of your long wind too now, George.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be that long. I'm just jump in real quick. I want to say this though, because I was listening to everybody speak, and I'm gonna go. How can I say it? I'm gonna go down on the community. I think I'm coming to the realization that we're gonna have to have something catastrophic happen before we actually wake up as Black people and begin to do something. It's going to have to be a tragedy on a large scale. It may have to be, or it may have to be like another Rodney King riot across the country. It's going to have to be something that's going to light a fire in Black people's ass, because we're too integrated. And we're fully integrated. And then what makes it worse is we're integrated into different pockets of America. You got Black people that grew up in places like Wyoming and Montana, that didn't grow up around a lot of Black people, and all their friends are white. You got Black people that are Black nationalists. You got Black people that grew up in inner cities like Philadelphia, like me, that didn't grow up around a lot of white people. So we're broke off into so many different groups, and we see ourselves as part of those different groups, separate from each other. But the other groups see us as just niggas in America. And we're walking around like we're separate. And we're not honoring the fight that our ancestors went through. when we see the 3 civil rights bills that they had to go through to get passed, and all the fighting for the different affirmative actions and all the different things that we had to get in order for us to even have the opportunities that we have today, man, we totally abandoned that. We have no cultural integrity. So like a lot of stuff that we say is, even me, it sound good. And maybe, and I had the thought process, maybe if I just keep saying it, I can put it out to the universe and hopefully the generation behind me will catch on to it. So I keep on saying it. But I'm coming to the realization, man, somebody gonna have to get knocked upside their head for black people. Like something's gonna have to be like so drastic that black people just got to get tired of being tired, because we love this white man. We love this white man with all our hearts, man. We fear being independent on our own, where we no longer have him to blame. And these are the conversations that we gotta have. Like we don't have the proper land that we need in order to build certain things. We're not taking control of our own destinies as men. We like our PlayStation 4s. We like our cars. You know, we complain about the white man, but we still go to his jobs every day. Do y'all know that despite our differences, we agreed to go to the system and serve the system, but then come out of that system and won't serve each other? This is part of the dysfunction. We are sick individuals, man. We can't stand each other individually, but we go serve that white man together with a smile on our face, with a freaking smile on our face. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't trust too many people standing next to me saying that they're gonna fight that white man. Because a lot of them is agents, and the ones that you think is agents ain't. It's the ones that you think you can trust the most. That's the sad part, because that's how fucked up our people are, man.
You know what, George? I was saying that with the elder tonight because I kept telling him that it's going to be, we have to be the ones to fix our problems. We can't rely on them to fix our problems because we're so comfortable. You know, remember I always bring this up. Remember the scene in the movie, the classic movie Superfly, where Priest was trying to get out of the game. The guy was like, "You got to be out your mind. You want me to lead a color TVs? Lifestyle? Hell no." You know what I'm saying? That's what we are today. That's what we are today. Go right ahead. Whoever wants to.
Yeah. Brother Info. Yeah, I want to give a salute to brother George. I'm sorry that if I missed to acknowledge you, brother.
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening and just listening to you, brother.
And I also want to ask brother Marcus, when you got the military with all the training that we got, was it hard to try to train those back home? Because we see things that's coming, and you try to prepare them, but they don't want to accept that training until it's too damn late. So I was wondering if you ever felt that the same frustration that I dealt I tried to show them how to properly use their weapons, how they do hand-to-hand combat, all for free. All that stuff, you know, how to maneuver, how to think like your enemy, all that kind of stuff. So I was wondering, have you ever felt that frustration like I'm dealing with?
Beautiful question, dear brother. And at some points I have. At some points I have found that to be very frustrating, because they're A, not taking it seriously, and B, don't really show time that needs to be shown to understand exactly what we're trying to teach them. You know, our other brother talked about we have to have a safe space. And the only way we're going to have safe spaces, that means that we have to have our own land. That means we have to have separation. So my organization, the initiative, we are working on that plan of separation. And we're planning on taking over a city, a county in Mississippi. And we're going to continue to do it and grow it out, because this is something that can be done, and it's something that must be done. There's a movie on Netflix called Wild Country. And in that movie, in that documentary, it shows that the Indians from India came over here to America, took over a city, then was trying to take over a county. And they were being successful until the internal part began to turn on each other. So we have to have separation. And my initiative, or our initiative that we are doing in Mississippi, is very, very important, because it's going to give you that safe space that our brother talked about. It's crucially important for us to understand the answer to our problems is separation from this enemy. And when you use the intellect that we have to make this accomplishment real, because it's just when as we do our research and we're understanding the different laws and, you know, how you can maneuver and take over a city in no limit of time, since everything is based upon on local elections, it's based upon how many people that's actually coming out. And a lot of these small towns don't have a lot of people that come out to even vote what's in their best interest. So moving your group there and begin the process of taking over is so very important, because from there you can have your safe discussions. You can have your properly plan to how to build this and how to build that. And another key thing that we have to have is our ability to protect what we build. So one of the cities that we're looking at is called Mount BAIO, and that's down in Mississippi. And it's one of the only all-Black towns. The population there is not very great. I forget the number off the top of my head, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. And it's an empty town. There's no grocery store in there. They got to go 20 miles for the next grocery store. There's no movie theater. There's no nothing. It's just a city with one gas station and a lot of abandoned buildings. So that lets us know that that place is a lot of progress. I mean, there's a lot of potential for greater progress, but we have to have a military to protect what we build. That is key. So for those of us that were in the military, definitely, big brother, you know, I need a lot of help. We need a lot of help. We need the ability for you to help teach us and help for us to train our soldiers so they'll be able to respond properly and, you know, do the perimeter guard and all that. Because we know that running, the enemy will do exactly what they do and attack. And at that time, we will respond, and we will not respond the same way that they're used to us responding. This time we will send them away with body bags.
Can I ask you something, family?
Yes,
I agree. You know, my father was a three-tour Vietnam veteran, and we had this conversation a lot. And my father told me, he said, after Vietnam, a lot of the brothers came home with that mentality, but they demonized them and they put them in prison. They killed a lot of them. When the whites come home, they're able to form militia groups here in Pennsylvania, all in Ohio. So what you're saying is admirable. I agree, but what stops them from brothers like you that's trained, that's getting brothers trained, and the thought process is like my father, from they calling you Black identity extremists, or because we're not allowed to carry on like other groups when they go to the military and come back with that skill set and develop. They demonize us. And criminalizes as well.
Exactly. And that's a great question that you asked. One thing that we have to make sure that we understand is we have the power to define. None of our rights did we get from a white man's piece of paper that they wrote on it. As George Bush said when he was president, fuck the Constitution. It's just a goddamn piece of paper. So we have to understand that the rights and our free will comes from our Creator. So the white man didn't give us any right. So that means he can't take from us any right. What we have to do now in this dispensation is that we have to stand on what we know is right, and we have to execute, regardless to whom or what. We got to go and do what we're going to do. And that's why it's important for us to be able to link up together and build that protection squad that we need, so that when we go and the enemy turns out his people to sin, we're able to deal with that effectively. We are in a time period now where we have to mature and understand that the future generations of our people, they will either live or die by what we do today. So we have to separate. We have to take over this land, city by city, county by county, because A, is very achievable. All you need to do is go vote. This is local elections. All you need to go vote and begin to change the laws. There are certain judges that we found out that you don't even have to be a lawyer to be a judge. You don't have to have a law degree to be a judge. You just have to be able to get some signatures to get you on the ballot so that you can be elected a judge or not. So there's so many things that we can do once we have that ground, and we can begin to change the reality that we are facing. And once we do that and begin to put in place the protections that we're going to need, because we know off of the past what these people are capable of. So we know that we have to prepare for that eventual battle time. And when that battle time comes, I'm very secure that we would win. When you control a city, then you have resources. You have resources, you have access. So just as the police departments get these militarized weapons and vehicles and all this stuff, if we're taking over a city now, we're in elected offices, then the police department belongs to us. The equipment that comes in belongs to us. So we understand that when we take this first city, everybody on the police department is being fired, from the 911 worker all the way up to the chief of police. All of them are gone. And we're going to replace them with people who think the way we think. So that where it secures the populace, so that they don't have to worry about the police brutality. They don't have to worry about this or that. Then we begin to change the school systems in a way that we can teach our children, and it will benefit our children. These things, these steps that must be done is achievable, and it's not against the law. So there's not like they can come arrest you because you got voted mayor and now you're doing changes. Ain't nothing that they can do about that except try to try to get the populace to vote against their own best interests. That's why we secure our elected officials by bringing more people in to that city to be able to vote, and we can do the things that's necessary to do. Yes, very bold idea, is a very bold plan, but it is exactly what this time is calling for, because we cannot continue what we got going on today. You know, me and my wife earlier today, we went to where Mike Brown was killed. And there's a plaque in the street on the pavement where people walk right over it. And it talks about him living and dying, and for everybody to remember the joy that he brought. But while we're watching this and we see the little plaque, but our people go right back to sleep after the big rigmarole is over with. And then things continue just as they were before our brother was killed. So we have to understand that our only protection is our ability to separate and our ability to maintain and protect what we build. So again, that takes a lot of maturity. That takes a lot of internal strength, because the enemy will try to break you at every turn with internal pressure, with external pressure. But we have to withstand that pressure. And this is something that we can do. We rule the world. So if we can rule the world, surely we can take over cities and counties and even a state and begin the process of rulership. And I'll rest my mic.
Brother,
excellent, brother, excellent. Go ahead, brother.
I'd like for you to let me know your Mississippi connection off the air. But yeah, and shout out to Gap Talk. I'll make my spiel short because Gap Talk meetings in the house. Yeah, I was really thinking, just really referencing either, you know, our elders and people in my generation, we really got a lot out of meeting and going to events in person, networking, and trying to make sure that we, you know, have some kind of common cause or common goal. And right now, I'm not sure how long we're going to have access to this YouTube thing here. So I mean, going back to Brother Ben X, I see that he tries to go to different places and do you know, events and meet and greets and stuff like that. I really hope that we, you know, take precaution, of course, but try to really utilize going to events where YouTubers either are holding or there, so you can at least meet some people face to face and build from there, because we can only do so much on this YouTube thing. We have to start really knowing a human face with the personalities that we listen to and like, because what I'm hearing from Brother Maurice, I got folks in Mississippi. So now I'm thinking about what can I do? So these are things that we have to come across. We can only do this whole back and forth YouTube thing so long, but eventually you see how they're doing Ben X and so many other different people in this YouTube where they're shutting down things that are very effective, which I think is a good thing, because if they're going to go out of their way to shut down somebody, you're not a small person. That means you're doing something. You have something that they're trying to shut down. So, you know, I would say don't look at it too much like, oh man, it's like, okay, I must be doing something right. So keep that in mind. And the other part too, I think it was Brother Cap. They were talking about how we're too busy. I think Sonetta always talk about people are busy banging on each other instead of banging on the beast. I think that was his thing he said. And that's the thing. It seemed like some people get so much energy and invigoration to really point out all kinds of imperfections and things that you don't like on your own people, instead of the people that are kind of like, you know, the main target. So I would always suggest, when you have problems, and I think a lot of people on this panel says the same thing, when you have problems in your community, in your family, you handle this stuff behind closed doors and work this stuff out. You should not be using platforms to shame or to down or whatever it is. I don't care if you stole money, whatever it is. Let's deal with these people behind closed doors and move on, because people are loving this stuff. This is entertainment when we're going at each other. And we shouldn't be giving them things to eat popcorn and enjoy themselves, because this is real, right? Our life.
Right.
Can I say something, Art? You took the words right out of my mouth, brother. What I've seen, what's happening is that, and I think Brother George said it best one day when I was watching one of his videos. What are we using YouTube for if not to empower, educate, and wake up our people and unify? So therefore, arguing, backbiting, and having non-constructive conversation, as Neely Fuller Jr. would say, doesn't lead to solutions. We've got to stop this type of discourse. Yes, we're going to have disagreements, because as a people, we get emotional. I understand that. We're going to be on panels. I have done it myself. I'm no angel. I have done it myself with Brother George and many others, where we've gotten on panels, we've gotten heated with people, we've lost a little bit of our cool, we've done all sorts of things, right? I'm not proud of it. I'm not happy with it. I put the onus on myself too, and say we've got to get away from this, because we have to keep in mind, as Brother Pharaoh said today when I was listening to him, this is Google shit. This ain't our shit. They can get rid of us anytime they want, and then we'll be running around here looking like Boo Boo the Clown. And I know I sound like a spokesperson, but I'm saying get your black butts over and at least drop a couple of your links of your channel into Black Junction TV, any kind of platform that is black owned, until we can build it up. Okay, I know it's small. Brother Youssef doesn't have all the bells and whistles that everybody wants. Well, guess what? He's not using corporate money. So unless we're really ready as a people to corporatize ourselves as one black race of people, one black group of people, and say, let's have a corporate ideology, meaning a black corporate ideology, then how are we supposed to be able to have a black media? That's what I'm bringing to the table to you brothers tonight. How do we have a black media without a corporate ideology? Because yes, we have Black Junction TV and some other platforms, but it doesn't get the sort of draw and it doesn't have the sort of money that one needs to really blow up. That is what that to me is the responsibility of us as people to be our own stewards of our own media if we don't like what happens to us on YouTube.
That speaks to what I was saying, information man.
Okay.
We can, as a people, we complain about certain things, but we're not willing to take the steps to make the change that we want. Like people know about that website, but we're not gonna support it. We don't support each other. Like we like complaining because we want people to feel sorry for us.
Okay.
I just gotta say it. Like I gotta keep it real, man. Like this dysfunction is sick. Like we sick, man.
Well, check this out, George. I'm a member of Black Junction TV. I give the brother $10 a month. The brother that you had on your show a few weeks ago, I've been emailing him. I'm going to bring him on my program, and I'm going to donate some money to the organization that he has. Right. I'm going to donate money. Okay. So anything I can do in my, in the black world that I live, anything I can do, I'm going to try to do what I can, whether it's donating money to an organization, whether it's supporting a brother, whatever I can do, I'll do it. When I had brother Karima on and I interviewed him, he said that he does these unity marches. He says he wants to come to Oakland. And I told him, look, brother, whatever you want to do when you come to the Bay Area with this program, I'm ready to roll my sleeves up. Give me a call. I'll roll down 80 freeway right into Oakland and I'll get involved.
And I'm the same way, and that's what I'm saying. And I just get down because it's like 50 million black people in this country, and probably more. And it's no reason why, we still struggling the way we do, man. Like we complain, like not just the black people on YouTube, black people in general. We complain about the things that's happening to us, man. But we won't support each other, man. And I be out there on the front line, and a lot of times, man, it just be a couple of us, man. And people walk by, look at you like you crazy. We got freedom fighters that been in jail 40 years, man. People don't even talk about them. It's like it's just disgusting to the stomach, man. Now, I'm affecting young people. I'm talking about the black church. I'm talking about the black mosques. They don't even talk about these people. They've forgotten about, man.
George, I'm going to bring Gavin, but I gotta say something to you. I heard when you were talking to Ascending in the Night, and you said everybody's talking down on people that are pro-black.
Yep.
But it was the pro-black that stood up for us. It was the pro-black that was trying to fight against some of the shit that we were going through. It was the pro-black that were involved in some of the things that we benefit today. See,
and you heard what I said to him. How could you say, how could anybody black in America today come and say they ain't pro-black when all the people before us that fought for us to be able to go to college, to go overseas, all of them were pro-black. When you think of Paul Robeson, when you think of Marcus Garvey, Du Bois, all these people was fighting for black equality. Medgar Evers, they was fighting for black economics, for us to have things for black. So today they say they got this thing, information man, fuck them pro-blacks. Well, my saying to that is for anybody in the chat room that may not be pro-black, if you don't like the YouTube pro-blacks that you see today, then you be a better pro-black. You be a better pro-black, because the people that stood in the gap for you, that died for you, that went to prison for you, all of them were pro-black. Every last one of them.
Check this out, though, George. Now, when you make that type of challenge, nobody's going to do it, because there's two things we must understand. There's a movement, and then there's a sacrifice. Are we just here for it? No, let me correct myself. There's a thing called a moment and then a movement. Are we here for a movement or a moment? Because a movement requires what? Sacrifice.
Yep.
When you make that statement to people, they're not going to do anything because they're not willing to sacrifice. Okay, and a sacrifice can come in many ways, but that's what it requires. For example, when we were on the panel, what night was that? I was on a panel and it was Cynthia G. We were on Nyla's program. And you know, Cynthia's been talking about the narrative about black men haven't done anything to fight against white supremacy, that we haven't really done anything. And then I said to her straight up, look, the only way you destroy this thing, and I know Maurice Muhammad doesn't subscribe to this, but I'm just saying it for the purpose of the conversation. The only way you destroy white supremacy is you must destroy this government. And if you're not going to destroy the government, which represents that system with the monetary value, then we can't destroy white supremacy. Anything else, whether it be political stuff, anything else is just what? Being passive, being comfortable in the space of this thing called oppression. Because that's the only way, which requires what? That people have to give of their blood and sacrifice and die. That requires black men to fight and die. Nobody is really prepared to do that because that's a sacrifice. And at the end of the day, we really want to be comfortable with this mayonnaise man. Black Ice, I saw Black Ice in the chat room. Black Ice, I sent you a link, brother, to come on the panel. So I'm going to send it again, Black Ice. Look for the link, Black Ice, to come on. Go right ahead.
I want to do a quick appeal.
Go ahead, brother. Anything you want to say?
Real quick, because Gab has been waiting patiently.
Oh, yeah. We got to have Gab talk.
I want to do a quick appeal because I was trying to end it.
Okay.
It's an appeal to everyone listening. You got to remember, elders don't have much time left compared to us. We got different elders from different parts and walks of life. They are here full of lots of information that we could use. Mm-hmm. I get tired of people disregarding what elders have to say, whether it's the older women or the older men. I don't care if he's pushing a cart. I don't care if he has a business. I don't care if he's retired. They are here to let us know what we don't have to go through because of the things that they went through. I mean, that's the biggest purpose. That's why I'm very upset when the elders are disrespected. We got to start really rallying behind our elders, maybe give them a little longer longevity in life, because sometimes they just check out because they feel they have no more purpose left. They got so much information, man. They got a lot. So I really would hope that people would really start taking some time just to spend about 20, 30 minutes or whatever you want to ask, because you never know what they have to contribute to whatever issue you may have. That's all I want to say.
Hello?
Go ahead, Gab.
Okay. Peace to the panel. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, man, I'm sorry. Info, when you called, man, I was knocked out, brother. I'm sorry I missed so much of the fire. Brother Maurice, I've been keeping up with your work by YouTube, and it looks like some very, very interesting work. You and I have talked offline just a little bit, and I can't wait till I talk to you more in depth. The example that you have started is a very important thing, and all of us need to somehow, some way, gather and galvanize our support in the various ways that it can be supported. And man, I just can say, man, I haven't seen a panel like this in a while that, you know, are on a similar accord. And info, I appreciate you keep pushing forward, man, and bringing the right people together, and George making as well, bringing the right people together to keep hope alive. There's a deficit that I've been listening to where people say they don't like hope anymore. They don't like God anymore, and they don't like words that remind them of anything to do with religion. And so I don't say that to say that everybody needs to go and run back to religion, but they do need to run to things that energize their ability to withstand the pressure that's on our heads. And so if that is church, get your ass up in there. If it's the mosque, go on up in there. If it's whatever it is that you got that energizes you to show support for people that look like yourself, get up in there and do it. As far as YouTube goes, I heard y'all talking about it. It is but a microcosm of the macrocosm, the macrocosm being, pretty much the United States of America, as far as this little group of YouTube that we deal with for the most part. So you're going to have all of the things, and we learned about who the 85% were and who the 5% were and the 10% were. For those familiar with that, that's what we're working with. And I would hope after dropping that information about who the 5% were, which is, poor righteous teachers trying to develop as a united force in this land, I would hope that the 5% is at least at 6% by now. and so man, that's my inspiring words for the night, man. I'm gonna have to keep listening because I know y'all covered a whole lot because y'all been on here for quite a while. I appreciate the invite, and I'm sorry, like I said, I missed so much of the fire.
Hey, Gab, I'm only going to give you this one time, brother. I really was trying to get you on here early on because we have an all-star cast of folks, and I wanted to get your perspective. This is the perspective I got to get for you, brother. From you. I know that there's some funny business going on because you saw that I was doing the stream in dedication to Brother Ben X.
Yes, sir.
Gave me a surprise by coming into the chat room, dropping his link, which I've dropped in the chat room for the brother's second channel. Yes, and as I was going through his links, I lost control of my live stream where I couldn't get back into it, or I couldn't get to it, but YouTube allowed it to still process, and I still have it. And that told me, yeah, there's something going on. Because the minute I'm on there talking about this brother and the brother's coming in, all of a sudden funny business is happening. So this is very real. And so I wanted to get your take on the Ben X situation from your perspective as a brother who understands the nation as well.
Oh, yes, sir. I think anybody who is as consistent as Brother Ben has been with a positive message, but a very unpopular one with respect to the powers that be, is going to at some point be disenfranchised from things that, others have a right to be a part of. And the closer and closer anybody gets from things that, others have.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the closer and closer that anybody gets to that kind of messaging and that consistency and that growth rate, I think we're going to be facing that kind of thing. So when you mention Black Junction and Black Avenger and Black Spot TV, it's something that we have to do. These are things that must be done. And, I continue to say it's our time now. It's not to say that we are not going to be met with opposition and that the opposition won't even intensify as it has intensified. But we have to live and die for this, brothers. And to the extent possible, to put yourself in positions that are awaiting. And some of us, we've built lives up that are so ingrained into what is going on that it is limiting our ability to participate in our own liberation. So as we bring up the new fruit, the new children, the young people, we have to push this stuff over and make sure that they are not also in the same positions. So let's use what we got to get what we want.
Okay. Okay, brother.
Yes, sir.
This is what I want to do. I'm going to go over to Black Ice. I've actually been wanting to get Black Ice on here for some time, but he's on. I'm going to have him speak to mine. We got our brother from across the seas with that, and he's going to give us some inspirational thoughts, I'm sure. And as brother Black Ice comes to his conclusion, I want to do the rounds, and I want to get to brother Cap, then go to brother Art, and then I'm going to have brother Maurice Muhammad give us the last words to end this stream for tonight. So I'm going to let him bring us on home after as we go down the line. So brother Black Ice, I'm glad you're here, and I want to say shout out to Moses Jenkins. He had to go. Thank you, brother, for being here. George Macomb had to go too. Thank you for being here as well. Everybody that's in the chat room, thank you for being here and participating. Lions Den, I know he had to go too. So, brother, I love you. Thank you for being here as well. So, with that said, brother Black Ice, give it to us, brother.
Yeah, I mean, once again, big up for inviting me. I'd gone to bed and I just happened to see the invite. So, big up for that. Trust me, that's why I said, let me just come on and grace it. But as far as the Ben X situation goes, we're living in the age of censorship now. The stakes are getting higher. The control that the government need and the powers that be across the Western diaspora need to be tightened, and they are tightening them. So we have to understand that in that is going to come new laws, new ways for YouTube to take down videos, shut down channels, stop monetization. And as far as Ben X is concerned, again, the Nation of Islam is responsible, like them, hate them, whatever, for bringing together a dense population of black people. So that's a problem in itself. It's been a problem for America for a long time, you know. So you've got the brother coming on, he's showing Farrakhan videos, which again is a problem. You know, just to give you some context, over here, the Nation of Islam branch over here had an event where they was meant to do a live television, you know, link up. And then it turned into a pre-recorded video showing of Farrakhan speaking on that day. And before the event was able to take off, the police came, shut that shit down, and quickly said, because it was a whole big event planned around this screening, and they said, if you show that video, we're shutting down the whole event. And you're talking about almost a couple thousand people were present doing loads of different activities, different things. Not everyone was there just to watch the video, but that's the levels that they'll go down to shut down those angles. Yeah, he's been banned in the UK for many a year, and there's no sign of him ever coming here. So, you know, I'm not surprised that that shit's got shut down at all, because again, he was up to like 144,000. That's a solid fan base. He's talking consistent, positive black angles, regardless of whether or not you agree with the Muslim side, the Nation of Islam side. But as I said, key element is he's showing Minister Farrakhan a lot. He's reviewing and summarizing a lot of what he's saying and breaking it down for a whole younger generation of non-Muslim young people, as well as the younger Muslim crowd that's out there. So, you know, there was always going to be a problem, but he's just the first. Expect more of it, because if you notice, a lot more of our YouTubers have been going through 90-day bans, and as I said, videos being non-monetized. Me and George just did a show the other day about transhumanism, and they flagged it and they took it down. You know, they're censoring, and it was because we was talking about the gay angle and all of these things. So we just got to wake up to it and know that in times of war and in times of pressure, the free press are always going to be shut down first. I just think in the Western Hemisphere, again, we don't have a living memory of these actions. But if you go to other countries, there's journalists and people who are doing exactly what we're doing, sitting in prison for up to 10 years just because they didn't want to stop or they were talking against the status quo. So this is something we're going to have to get used to. All we can do is support our brother, you know, go to his new channel, big it up. But again, this is nothing new. Nothing new at all.
Black Ice, I said this earlier. We are going to have to be more masterful in how we put our information out. We got to figure out ways to still get information out, but not be so blatant with it. We got to be a little bit more covert with our way we do things. If we're going to use these platforms. If we're going to use them, because like I said earlier today, I think YouTube is on a campaign to purge us off of here. And another thing that's going on that I got to bring up too before we bring to an end tonight is that they are, if you got people following you, your people that follow you, they're being unsubscribed, the bell for notifications being disconnected. I've noticed that on mine. Then it took about 137 people that I had in my subscribership. They're claiming it's because they want to get rid of spam. Now, how the hell do we know what's spam and what's not spam? For example, if Maurice Muhammad, Cap, Art, and you are subscribed to my channel, how do I know if YouTube is saying, well, these Negroes are spam, so let's take them off of his subscribership? How do they, what's their criteria for spam? Now, they say it's sub for sub, or if you're using some outside service to get subscribers. But what's to keep them from just taking away subscribers that are legitimate subscribers? See, they're so vague with their with the description so that you can't take them to court and sue them. So they, you know, they operate in this vague, you know, it's to me, and you guys know this term, it's called tricknology, baby. That's all. Okay. Brother Cap, any last statements for the night, brother? I'm running the rounds before I put a crescendo on tonight. And then I'm going to go to Art.
I'm just going to say good night as well, like, because I'm going to bed like 5:40 in the morning here. Thank you again for inviting me. Please invite me again so I can participate in a full show next time. But big up to the chat. Big up to the panel, yeah?
All right, peace. Peace, yeah. Thank you. Cap, any last words for the night? Cap, are you there? Okay. I'm going to go to Art because I don't know if Cap is asleep or he's just... Art, unmute yourself. Any last words for the night, brother?
Yeah, just want to thanks for the invite and you guys thinking of me. And good honor to be on such a powerful panel, powerful brothers. This is pretty much my language.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the part that really gets me is that I mean, we need to really start finding ways to be accessible to our little brothers so they won't have to go through this crap, so they can be able to walk without looking over their shoulder so much. Because basically, you already know, everybody on this panel already knows, our manhood is constantly being either under attack or tested on a daily basis, especially a black man. You got to prove that to everybody, Chinese, Arab, white, wherever you go, somebody's gonna always keep trying to put you in boy status. You got to speak up. So we got to be examples for them, so that basically we won't be seeing all that what do you call it, that effeminate actions that we see from little boys. You know, we got to make sure that they grow up to be men and be expressive and be very resolute for what they're about to do and what they want to do in their endeavors. So that's how I'll leave it at that.
Okay, let me just say this. When I end this stream, Art, I want you to stay on, and I want Cap to stay on because I got to talk to him about something. But let me go over to Gab. Gab, you got any last words, brother? Because I'm going to have Brother Maurice take us home. Brother Maurice Muhammad's going to take us home after you, brother. Okay, he's got...
no, brother, I appreciate your invite. Thanks for the kind words, brother Art, and Cap is a warrior as well, brother. And folks, just keep pushing, brother Maurice. I'm watching close what you're doing, and I'm sure you're going to let us know of different ways to participate in what it is that you're building there. And I'm just, my final words is to keep the community encouraged and to keep scanning our talent, man, and our scanning for our warriors, because it's no greater demonstration to me than what the brothers attempting to do over there in Mississippi. That is a huge endeavor. Maybe starting off small, but it is indeed a threat to even talk about taking over any part of an area. That is a step toward the separation that we've all been kind of talking about. So thanks, good brother, for even finding or looking into something like this and finding even an example first where other people have done that, because that is where I found that it can make sense to a lot of people, because you've looked into it where somebody else is already doing it. So I'm gonna rest there and take us home.
What I attempted to do also, Gab, tonight is I had sent Q Butter, because this is a brother that has a school, a program. He's doing the damn thing, but Q Butter wasn't able to come on tonight. So, but with that said, let me give a shout out to Conscious of Genocide. He's the brother that produced some of the music that I use on my program in terms of my theme music of my show, the intro. So he's a brother that's into the music and he's got beats. So definitely check out Brother Conscious of Genocide. He's in the chat room. Now let me go over to the esteemed brother, my brother. I love this brother, Maurice Muhammad. So he can give us whatever thoughts are on his mind as we come to an end tonight. Thank you, brother, for your patience.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother, for having me. Thank the panel for joining us. Brother Gab, appreciate it. Appreciate it. You know, where we are now, as I said earlier, we're at the change of worlds. And if we look at in the Bible where it talks about the children of Israel, and they came out of Egypt, but they were in the wilderness because the elders were scared to challenge the giants. So they stayed there in the wilderness until all of the elders died, and God let the children into the promised land to challenge the giants. So we are in that mode today. We must challenge the giants for our own freedom, justice, and equality. And that starts out by being defiant. We have to be defiant when it comes to unjust laws and regulations that look to subjugate you to being less than who your God actually made you to be. We have to be defiant. We have to be defiant against systems that give us lip service and ask for us to vote for them, and then they get in office and they sell us out. We have to be defiant. We have to be strongly committed to the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality in order for us to produce a community, to produce a state, to produce a nation that is founded upon the rights that our God has given us. So in order to be separate, in order to be really free, sacrifices have to be made. Blood will have to be shed. There is no people that has ever taken their freedom and got it by being nice and got it by being able to beg somebody else to give you what your natural God has already deposited within you. This enemy is killing us in every stage of our existence. In every stage, they never take a day off. They never take a break. They're consistently on the march. So we have to meet that challenge. We have to stand up and do the things necessary so that our children that comes behind us, the future generations, will have something to stand on. We've all been taught properly This is the time of implementation. This is the time of our judgment of what we see, and to be able to say, this is unacceptable, and damn it, we're not going to continue to accept this foolishness and say that we are men. When we're under attack every day, our manhood, and it is not just coming from the mayonnaise people, but it's coming from the yellow man. Anytime that you can beat up Black women in a Black neighborhood and be comfortable with that, that shows us that they're not afraid of us, that they feel that they are better than us. It is because we have bowed down to them, and we cannot continue to bow down to people who are less than what we are. We are gods. It is not right for us to sit under oppression and think that some magical thing is going to happen and it changes. We got to do what we got to do so that our women will look at us with pride. Our children will be able to look at us with pride and say we've done what people said they would never be able to do. We take our destiny in our hands, and we define what our freedom is and who we are, and it's by the standards that we approve of. And to hell with this enemy. And when that day comes for us to meet them on that physical battlefield to protect what we have built, you will not find any softness in our hearts. We will kill them all, because this is what they have earned. And this is what they're going to get. So I thank you, brother, for having me, to allowing me to express myself. And I love you all. And I'm looking forward to getting together and having these face-to-face meetings. Because it takes all of us to do this thing that we got to do. We can defeat this enemy because he didn't even gain his own freedom unless we were there to help him out. So he didn't get nothing on his own. We did it. So now it's time for us to fight for our freedom, to take what is ours and make all of those who come against what we have decided to build, we make them bow down. Because we're unworthy to bow down to foolishness.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother. Thank you, dear brother. Thank you. Love y'all.
This is the thing. I took my avatar because I want to look you in the face, man to man. I'm 100% agree with everything that you said. You put it where the goats can get it, on the money. Thank you, Maurice Muhammad. This is why I love you, what you are about, brother. I support you. With that said, Cap, I wanted you to say some last words, but I was telling you and Art that I want you to stay on when I end this. When I officially end this, because I got to talk to you about a few things, okay? Since we didn't get a chance to talk earlier. But everybody, let me just say this. Everybody that's in the chat room, thank you for thank you for being here, for supporting the stream tonight. I know it's late for a lot of people across the country. I thank you for being here. Please, you're welcome. You're welcome back anytime. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe if you like. Hit the bell for notification. Whatever, you know, YouTube plays a lot of games, but support everybody that you saw on the panel tonight. But most importantly, I want to give a big up to Baba himself, the elder himself, Rahson, that was with me tonight earlier. He was the opener of the show. He called in. We had him via through the phone system. And that's how it all started with the elder tonight. And then it got us back down to the brothers that you saw on the panel tonight, the esteemed brothers. I want to thank Brother George Macon for coming on board. Moses Jenkins, Black Ice, Maurice Muhammad again, Gab Talk Media. I want to thank Brother Art for coming on, Brother Cap. Damn it, am I missing somebody else? I was even trying to get Prophet of Thought series on tonight, but he wasn't able to come on. Anybody I might have forgotten?
Moses Jenkins.
Moses Jenkins, that brother, man, he just puts the fire out, puts the fire in there. I want to thank everybody. Thank the chat room. I'm going to hit the button to end the stream tonight. Thank you. I love you all. This was fantastic. And once again, we got to support each other. I believe we should support each other, and we got to stop fighting each other, using YouTube to fight each other and backbite on each other and to destroy each other's channels. We got to stop, folks. We really got to stop it. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to end it with our usual music that was produced by Conscious of Genocide. Let me play a little bit of this for y'all as we end.
Brother Maurice, to the panel.
Yes, sir. Peace and blessings, family. Love y'all.
Love you. Woo! Cap, make sure you stay on, Cap, and Art.
I'm here.
Kicking knowledge all over this nation. We ain't lose the draw. You can bring your hate team, but if you want to win, please don't bring your debate team. You talk to Japanese shogun, old Mexican, African, Dogun. Whatever you want to know, come join the Milk Info Show. It's the info. It's the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the Milk Info Show. It's the info. We got the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the Milk Info Show. It's the info. You can call them info. Kicking knowledge all over this nation.
His blessings and love.
Your hate team.
His blessings and love.
Please don't bring your debate team.
Peace, blessings, and love, family. This is Rahson out of the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana, coming to you with another great and informative video. Peace, blessings, and love to all the melanated family and mankind.
Woo! Thank you, everybody.
Let this be a lesson that black folks need to be codified. We've got to stop crooning, vote hackers, vote making, and cornbread.
Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.